Hello everyone. Welcome to UGC NET Paper 2 Education PYQ series. Question number 1, June 2025 paper. Question: which theoretical perspective mainly emphasizes hidden curriculum and credentialism? Options: Option 1, functionalist; Option 2, interactionist; Option 3, conflict; Option 4, feminist. Pause the video and think carefully. Correct answer is Option 3, conflict perspective. Now understand two very important terms. Hidden curriculum. These are unofficial lessons students learn in school, like discipline, obedience, competition, and punctuality. Example: a student learns to stand silently in a line and obey authority, even though it is not written in the syllabus. Now the second term, credentialism. It means society gives more importance to degrees and certificates than actual skills. Example: a highly skilled person may not get a job without a formal degree certificate. Now the main concept. Conflict theorists believe education increases social inequality. Schools silently prepare students to accept hierarchy and social control through hidden curriculum and credentialism. This question comes from UGC NET Education Paper 2, Unit 1, Education as a Discipline, Sociological Perspectives of Education. Quick option analysis. Functionalist focuses on social harmony and stability. Interactionist focuses on classroom interaction and symbols. Conflict focuses on inequality, power, hidden curriculum, and credentialism. Feminist focuses on gender inequality in education. NET exam trick: whenever you see hidden curriculum, credentialism, or social inequality, immediately think conflict theory. Follow for more UGC NET Education PYQs for June 2026. Hello everyone. Welcome to UGC NET Education Previous Year Question Series. Question number 2. Question from June 2025 paper. Which of the following education thinkers emphasized on care ethics? Option 1, Paulo Freire. Option 2, Krishnamurti. Option 3, Wollstonecraft. Option 4, Nell Noddings. Pause the video and think carefully. Correct answer, Option 4, Nell Noddings. Now understand the concept of care ethics. Care ethics says that education should be based on care, empathy, relationships, and emotional understanding. According to this approach, a teacher should not only teach subjects, but should also care for students emotionally and personally. Example: if a student is mentally stressed or emotionally disturbed, a caring teacher listens to the student, supports the student, and creates a safe classroom environment. This idea was strongly emphasized by Nell Noddings. Now the unit of this question. This question comes from UGC NET Education Paper 2, Unit 1, Education as a Discipline, especially modern educational thinkers and philosophical perspectives. Quick option analysis. Option 1, Paulo Freire focused on critical pedagogy and liberation education. Option 2, Krishnamurti focused on freedom, self-understanding, and holistic learning. Option 3, Wollstonecraft mainly focused on women's education and equality. Option 4, Nell Noddings focused on care ethics in education. NET exam trick. Whenever you see care ethics, empathy in teaching, or caring teacher-student relationship, immediately think Nell Noddings. Follow for more UGC NET Education PYQs for June 2026. Hello everyone. Welcome to UGC NET Education Previous Year Question Series. Question number 3. Question from June 2025 paper. Question: which of the following statement is now true about idealism? Options. Option 1. In scheme of curriculum, idealism is not prepared to give any particular preference to any subject. Option 2. Idealism has talked more of objectives and aims of education and less of devices, methods, and organizations. Option 3. Subjects which have a flavor of personal greatness are greatly emphasized by idealism. Option 4. Idealism pays much attention to the present experience of the child in its approach to the problem of curriculum. Pause the video and think carefully. Correct answer, option 4. Idealism pays much attention to the present experience of the child. This statement is now true about idealism. Now understand the concept clearly. Idealism believes in spiritual values, moral development, character formation, and eternal truths. Idealists focus more on ideas and values, not on the immediate experiences of the child. The philosophy that focuses strongly on present experiences and child-centered learning is pragmatism. Example: in an idealistic classroom, the teacher gives importance to moral education, great literature, spiritual values, and character building. Now the unit of this question. This question comes from UGC NET Education Paper 2, Unit 1, Philosophical Perspectives of Education. Quick option analysis. Option 1 is true. Idealism does not give extreme preference to only one subject. Option 2 is also true. Idealism focuses more on aims and objectives of education. Option 3 is true. Idealism emphasizes subjects related to personal greatness and values. Option 4 is false, because attention to present child experience belongs more to pragmatism, not idealism. NET exam trick. Whenever you see moral values, spiritual development, and character formation, think idealism. Whenever you see learning by doing, present experience, and child-centered approach, think pragmatism. Follow for more UGC NET Education PYQs for June 2026. Hello everyone. Welcome to UGC NET Education Previous Year Question Series. Question number 4. Question from June 2025 paper. Question: which of the following statements is true about Sankhya philosophy? Options. Option 1. Gya is matter or prakriti. Option 2. Vyakta is consequence of the Karyakarana. Option 3. Avyakta is Purush. Option 4. Sankhya asserts that existence of God can be proved. Pause the video and think carefully. Correct answer. Option 2. Vyakta is consequence of the Karyakarana. Now understand the concept clearly. Sankhya philosophy is one of the oldest Indian philosophies. It mainly talks about two realities, Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha means consciousness or soul. Prakriti means matter or nature. According to Sankhya philosophy, the visible world develops from Prakriti through cause and effect. This idea is called Karyakarana theory. Vyakta means the manifested or visible world. So Vyakta is the result or consequence of cause and effect. That is why option 2 is correct. Now understand why the other options are wrong. Option 1 is incorrect because Gaya does not mean matter or Prakriti. Option 3 is incorrect because Avyakta refers to unmanifested Prakriti, not Purusha. Option 4 is also incorrect. Classical Sankhya philosophy does not strongly support proving the existence of God. Now the unit of this question. This question comes from UGC NET Education Paper 2, Unit 1, Indian Schools of Philosophy in Education. NET exam trick. Whenever you see Purusha and Prakriti, Karyakarana theory or evolution from matter, immediately think Sankhya philosophy. Follow for more UGC NET Education PYQs for June 2026.
Hello everyone, welcome to Karma Education with UGC NET Education PYQ series. June 2025 paper, question number 5. Which of the following is not a recommendation of National Knowledge Commission 2007 with respect to school education? Options. Central legislation for the right to education. More rigidity in disbursal of funds. Decentralization and greater local autonomy. Expansion of functional literacy. Pause the video and think carefully. Correct answer. Option 2. More rigidity in disbursal of funds. Now understand the main concept clearly. The National Knowledge Commission was established to improve the quality of education and knowledge systems in India. It promoted flexibility, educational reforms, local autonomy, and wider access to education. The Commission supported decentralization and smooth educational administration, not rigidity in funding processes. Now understand the important recommendations of National Knowledge Commission. It supported right to education and improvement of school education. It emphasized decentralization and greater local autonomy in educational institutions. It also focused on expansion of functional literacy and increasing access to quality education. That is why option 2 is incorrect and becomes the correct answer for this question. Now understand the other options. Option 1 is a correct recommendation because the Commission supported legal strengthening of the right to education. Option 3 is also correct because decentralization helps schools and local bodies make better educational decisions. Option 4 is also correct because functional literacy was considered important for national development. This question comes from UGC NET Education Paper 2, Unit 2, Development of Education in India, especially educational commissions and policies. NET exam trick. Whenever you see National Knowledge Commission, think about flexibility, educational reforms, autonomy, literacy expansion, and knowledge society. If any option talks about rigidity or excessive control, it is usually incorrect. Now question number 6. For the implementation of Program of Action 1992, how many task forces were constituted on different subjects? Options. Option 1 20. Okay, option 2 21. Option 3 22. Option 4 23. Pause the video and think carefully. Correct answer. Option 3 22 task forces were constituted. Now understand the main concept clearly. Program of Action, also called POA, 1992 was prepared for implementation of the National Policy on Education 1986. Its main purpose was to improve educational planning, administration, and reforms in India. To handle different educational areas effectively, 22 task forces were constituted on different subjects. These task forces were expert committees formed for specific educational reforms and policy implementation. The task forces worked on areas like teacher education, curriculum development, vocational education, educational management, and expansion of quality education. Now understand why this topic is important for UGC NET. Questions from National Policy on Education, Program of Action, Educational Commissions, and committees are repeatedly asked in UGC NET Education. So whenever you study POA 1992, remember its connection with implementation of National Policy on Education 1986 and the formation of 22 task forces. This question comes from UGC NET Education Paper 2, Unit 2, Development of Education in India, especially educational policies and programs. NET exam trick. Whenever you see Program of Action 1992, immediately think about implementation of NPE 1986 and 22 task forces. Okay, now let's start question number 7. Which commission observed that one of the most useful methods of enriching rural life is to locate educational institutions in rural areas? Options. Secondary Education Commission 1952 to 53. Kothari Commission 1964 to 66. National Commission on Teachers 1999. University Education Commission 1948. Pause the video and think carefully. Correct answer. Option 1. Secondary Education Commission 1952 to 53. This commission is also known as Mudalia Commission. Now understand the main concept clearly. Secondary Education Commission was formed under Dr. A. Lakshman Swamy Mudaliar. The commission emphasized connecting education with rural development and community life. It believed that educational institutions in rural areas can improve the social, economic, cultural, and vocational life of villages. The commission also focused on diversified curriculum and practical education. Its important recommendations included vocational education, multipurpose schools, agricultural education, guidance and counseling, and citizenship training. Now understand the other options because they are also important. Option 2, Kothari Commission. Kothari Commission is also called Education Commission 1964 to 66. Its chairman was Dr. D.S. Kothari. Major recommendations included 10 plus 2 plus 3 structure, common school system, equal educational opportunity, work experience, and 3-language formula. This commission strongly focused on education for national development. Option 3, National Commission on Teachers 1999. This commission mainly focused on teacher education and improvement of teacher status. It emphasized teacher training reforms, professional development, accountability, ethics, and quality in teacher education. Option 4, University Education Commission 1948 to 49. This commission is also known as Radhakrishnan Commission. Its chairman was Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. The commission focused on improvement of higher education, religious and moral education, research, postgraduate education, and recommendation for establishment of UGC. Now the unit of this question. This question comes from UGC NET Education Paper 2, Unit 2, Development of Education in India, especially Educational Commissions and Committees. NET exam trick. Moodalier Commission means secondary education, diversified curriculum, vocational education, and rural enrichment. Kothari Commission means 10 plus 2 plus 3 pattern and national development. Radhakrishnan Commission means university education and higher education reforms. Now start question number 8. Which does not come under demand factors for finance in education? Options: demographic factors, economic factors, religious factors, political factors. Pause the video and think carefully. Correct answer. Option 3, religious factors. Now understand the main concept clearly. Demand factors for finance in education are the factors that increase the need for educational expenditure and investment. These factors influence how much money is required for schools, teachers, infrastructure, educational programs, and expansion of education. Major demand factors include demographic factors, economic factors, political factors, and social demand for education. Religious factors are generally not considered direct demand factors in educational finance. Now understand the other options because they are important for UGC NET preparation. Option 1, demographic factors. Demographic factors are related to population changes. Increase in population, growth of school-aged children, urbanization, and population density increase the need for schools, teachers, and educational infrastructure. Option 2, economic factors. Economic factors strongly influence educational finance. Economic development, industrial growth, employment opportunities, and national income increase the need for skilled manpower and educational investment. Option 4, political factors. Political factors influence educational policies and budget allocation. Government priorities, welfare policies, constitutional commitments, and right to education directly affect educational expenditure. This question comes from UGC NET Education Paper 2, Unit 2, Economics of Education, especially Educational Finance and Planning. NET exam trick. Demand factors for educational finance usually relate to population, economy, government policy, and educational expansion. Religious factors are generally not included directly. Let's start question number 9. One teacher manages most of the class while other teacher works with small group inside or outside of the classroom. This is an example of which co-teaching method. Options: alternative teaching, parallel teaching, station teaching, one teach one assist. Pause the video and think carefully. Correct answer. Option 1, alternative teaching. Now understand the main concept clearly. Alternative teaching is a co-teaching strategy where one teacher handles the large group and the other teacher works with a smaller group. The small group may receive remedial teaching, enrichment activities, extra practice, or individualized instruction. This method is useful in inclusive classrooms and differentiated learning. Now understand the other options. Parallel teaching means both teachers teach the same content at the same time to two separate groups. Station teaching means students rotate through different learning stations managed by teachers. One teach, one assist means one teacher teaches the whole class while the other teacher helps students individually. This method does not involve separate, small group teaching. This question comes from UGC NET Education Paper 2, Unit 7, Pedagogy, Andragogy and Assessment and Co-Teaching Strategies. NET exam trick. Alternative teaching means one large group and one small group with individualized support. Parallel teaching means same content and two equal groups. Follow for more UGC NET Education previous year questions. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to Karma Education. Today we are going to discuss UGC NET Education June 2020 5 previous year questions. Let's start with question number 60. Question number 60. In order to achieve mastery of a problem, we must receive feedback as to how we are doing. This statement is related to which principle of Brunner? Option 1. First principle, option 2. Second principle, option 3. Third principle, option 4. Fourth principle. Take a few seconds and think about your answer. Alright, the correct answer is option 4, fourth principle. Well, according to Jerome Brunner, feedback plays a very important role in learning. You see, learners can improve only when they know whether they are performing correctly or not. The fourth principle emphasizes feedback and reinforcement. Continuous feedback helps learners correct mistakes and achieve mastery. A quick net point. Brunner is associated with discovery learning, spiral curriculum, constructivist learning, and feedback principle. So remember, fourth principle means feedback and reinforcement. Now, moving on to question number 61. In which stage children are dreamers with magical thoughts and fantasies in abundance? Option 1. Formal operational stage, option 2. Pre-operational stage, option 3. Concrete operational stage, option 4. Sensorimotor stage. Think about it. The correct answer is option 2, pre-operational stage. Now, according to Jean Piaget, the pre-operational stage occurs approximately from 2 to 7 years of age. Children in this stage show imagination, fantasy, symbolic play, and magical thinking. Suppose a child believes that toys are alive or superheroes actually exist. This is a characteristic of the pre-operational stage. A quick net point. Piaget stages are sensorimotor, pre-operational, concrete operational, formal operational. Whenever you see magical thinking or fantasy, immediately think of pre-operational stage. Let's see question number 62. An individual is intelligent in proportion as he is able to carry on abstract thinking. This definition of intelligence was given by whom? Option 1, Stern, option 2, Wagner, option 3, Terman, option 4, David Wechsler. Take a moment. The correct answer is option 3, Terman. Well, Louis Terman defined intelligence as the ability to carry on abstract thinking. Abstract thinking means dealing with ideas, concepts, logic, and reasoning rather than concrete objects. For example, solving mathematical problems or understanding theories requires abstract thinking. A quick net point. Terman equals abstract thinking. Wechsler equals global capacity to act purposefully. Stern equals adaptation and adjustment. This is a very important matching question for NET examinations. Now, moving on to question number 63. National Curriculum Framework for Integrated Teacher Education Program in India 2023 was developed by whom? Option 1 NCERT, option 2 NCTE, option 3 UGC, option 4 AICTE. Think carefully. The correct answer is option 2, NCTE. Well, the National Curriculum Framework for Integrated Teacher Education Program or ITEP was developed by the National Council for Teacher Education. This framework was introduced in line with the recommendations of NEP 2020. Basically, ITP integrates subject knowledge, pedagogy, and practical training into a single program. A quick net point. NCTE is related to teacher education. NCERT is related to school curriculum and textbooks. UGC is related to higher education. AICTE is related to technical education. Now, moving on to question number 64. Question number 64. Who described the theory of communicative action? Option 1, Zhong Yedeng. Option 2, Alan Luke. Option 3, Jürgen Habermas. Option 4, Lee Schulman. Take a few seconds and think about your answer. Alright? The correct answer is option 3, Jürgen Habermas. Well, Jürgen Habermas proposed the theory of communicative action. According to him, communication and dialogue help people reach mutual understanding and solve problems through rational discussion. Suppose students participate in a classroom discussion and exchange ideas respectfully. This reflects communicative action. A quick net point. Jürgen Habermas equals theory of communicative action. Lee Schulman equals PCK. Alan Luke equals critical literacy. Now let's see question number 65. PCK framework was given by whom? Option 1, Lee Schulman. Option 2, Zhong Yedeng. Option 3, Alan Luke. Option 4, Jürgen Habermas. Think about it. The correct answer is option 1, Lee Schulman. Now, PCK stands for pedagogical content knowledge. According to Schulman, an effective teacher should have both content knowledge and pedagogical knowledge. You see, knowing a subject is important, but knowing how to teach that subject effectively is equally important. For example, a mathematics teacher may know algebra very well, but must also know how to explain algebra to students. A quick net point. PCK equals pedagogical content knowledge. Lee Schulman is known as the father of PCK. Moving on to question number 66. First chairperson of National Council for Teacher Education was dash. Option 1, Pankaj Arora. Option 2, Santosh Panda. Option 3, J.S. Rajput. Option 4, M. A. Siddiqui. Take a moment. The correct answer is option 3, J.S. Rajput. Well, J.S. Rajput was the first chairperson of NCTE. NCTE is responsible for maintaining standards and quality in teacher education across India. It regulates teacher education institutions and develops norms and standards for programs such as B, Ed and M.Ed. A quick net point. NCTE equals teacher education. NCERT equals school curriculum. UGC equals higher education. AICTE equals technical education. Now, let's move to question number 67. Who stated, curriculum is a plan or program for all experiences which the learner encounters under the direction of the school. Option 1, Oliver. Option 2, Carter V. Good. Option 3, Tyler and Heilertaba. Option 4, Galen Saylor. Think carefully before answering. According to the official UGC NET answer key, the correct answer is option 1, Oliver. Well, Oliver viewed curriculum as a comprehensive plan that includes all learning experiences provided by the school. This means curriculum is not limited to textbooks or classroom teaching alone. It also includes projects, sports, seminars, debates, educational tours, and co-curricular activities. In short, curriculum includes all planned learning experiences under the guidance of the school. A quick net point. Oliver equals curriculum planning. Tyler equals objective model. Hilda Taba equals grassroots curriculum model. Galen Saylor is also associated with learning experiences approach to curriculum. Now, moving on to question number 68. Question number 68. Jerome Bruner's method of concept attainment has been shaped into a model of teaching by whom? Option 1, David P. Ausubel. Option 2, Robert Kaiser. Option 3, Bruce Joyce and Marcia Weil. Option 4, Saylor and Alexander. Take a few seconds and think about your answer. Alright, the correct answer is option 3, Bruce Joyce and Marcia Weil. Well, Jerome Bruner introduced the concept attainment method to help learners identify concepts through examples and non-examples. Later, Bruce Joyce and Marcia Weil developed it into a formal model of teaching. Suppose a teacher shows different examples and non-examples of triangles. Students gradually identify the characteristics of a triangle on their own. This is concept attainment. A quick net point. Brunner equals discovery, learning and concept attainment. Ozubal equals advanced organizer. Joyce and Whale equals models of teaching. Now, let's see question number 69. Tyler's model of curriculum evaluation obtains curriculum objectives from the following three sources. Option 1. The student, the society, the subject matter. Option 2. Curriculum, syllabus, course book. Option 3. The teacher, the institute, the government. Option 4. Course content, teaching method, evaluation strategy. Think carefully. The correct answer is option 1. The student, the society, and the subject matter. Now, according to Ralph Tyler, curriculum objectives should be developed from these three important sources. The learner provides individual needs. Society provides social expectations. Subject matter provides organized knowledge. You see, a good curriculum must balance all three. A quick net point. Tyler's objective model is one of the most important curriculum models in NET examinations. Remember the three sources: student, society, subject matter. Now, moving on to question number 70. The central insight in phenomenological analysis is the dash option 1, theory of intentionality. Option 2, theory of knowledge. Option 3, theory of power. Option 4, theory of unconsciousness. Take a moment. The correct answer is option 1, theory of intentionality. Well, phenomenology is mainly associated with Edmund Husserl. According to Husserl, consciousness is always directed towards some object, idea, thought, or experience. This characteristic of consciousness is called intentionality. Suppose you are thinking about your examination. Your consciousness is directed toward that examination. This is intentionality. A quick net point. Husserl equals phenomenology. Intentionality equals central concept of phenomenology. Freud equals unconscious mind. Foucault equals power and discourse. Let's move to question number 71, which is not a characteristic of qualitative research. Option 1. Exploring, developing, understanding a central phenomenon. Option 2. Collecting data based on words. Option 3. Analyzing the data with statistics. Option 4. Writing the report using researchers' subjective reflexivity. Think about it. The correct answer is option 3, analyzing the data with statistics. Well, qualitative research focuses on meanings, experiences, perceptions, observations, and descriptions. It generally uses interviews, observations, narratives, and case studies. Statistical analysis is mainly associated with quantitative research. So whenever you see statistics, numbers, measurement, or numerical analysis, think of quantitative research. A quick net point. Qualitative research includes phenomenology, ethnography, narrative research, case study, grounded theory. Now, moving on to question number 72. Question number 72. Which designs are systematic, qualitative procedures that researchers use to generate a general explanation and it leads to process, action, or interaction among people? Option 1. Ethnographic designs. Option 2. Grounded theory designs. Option 3. Narrative research designs. Option 4. Correlational designs. Take a few seconds and think about your answer. Alright, the correct answer is option 2, grounded theory designs. Well, grounded theory is a qualitative research design used to generate a theory directly from collected data. You see, instead of testing an existing theory, researchers develop a new theory based on observations, interviews, and field data. Suppose a researcher studies how teachers manage classroom discipline and develops a theory from the collected data. That is grounded theory. A quick net point. Grounded theory equals theory generation. Ethnography equals culture study. Narrative research equals life stories. Correlational research equals relationship between variables. Now, let's see question number 73, which researches a portrayal and explanation of social groups and situations in their real life context. Option 1, phenomenology research. Option 2, ethnography research. Option 3, grounded theory. Option 4, case study. Think carefully. The correct answer is option 2, ethnography research. Well, ethnography studies people, groups, cultures, traditions, and social behavior in natural settings. Researchers often spend considerable time observing and interacting with participants. Suppose a researcher lives in a tribal community for several months to understand their educational practices. This is ethnography, a quick net point. Ethnography equals study of culture. Phenomenology equals study of lived experiences. Grounded theory equals theory development. Case study equals in-depth study of a particular case. Now, moving on to question number 74, which is not a characteristic of narrative research design. Option 1, individual experiences. Option 2, collecting data through rating scale. Option 3, coding and decoding for themes. Option 4, take a moment. The correct answer is option 2, collecting data through rating scale. Now, narrative research focuses on personal stories, life experiences, and individual accounts. Researchers collect information mainly through interviews, conversations, diaries, and personal narratives. Rating scales are quantitative tools and therefore do not belong to narrative research. A quick net point. Narrative research equals stories and experiences. Rating scale equals quantitative research. Coding and themes are common in qualitative research. Let's move to question number 75. Halo effect is a very common constant error committed by raters or teachers in assessment of students through rating scale. This error was first mentioned by Wells in 1907 and was named so by whom? Option 1, Anastasi, 1968. Option 2, Simons, 1925. Option 3, Murray, 1938. Option 4, Thorndike, 1920. Think about it. The correct answer is option 4, Thorndike, 1920. Well, halo effect occurs when a teacher's overall impression of a student influences the evaluation of all other qualities. Suppose a student is very polite. Because of that positive impression, the teacher may unknowingly give higher ratings in unrelated areas as well. This is called the halo effect. A quick net point. Halo effect equals rating bias. Thorndike introduced the term in 1920. This topic is frequently asked under educational measurement and evaluation. Now, moving on to question number 76. Question number 76. Which of the following is not a part of the formal steps or syntax of the Harbashan approach? Option 1. Preparation option 2. Presentation option 3. Application option 4. Focus. Take a few seconds and think about your answer. Alright, the correct answer is option 4, focus. Well, Johann Friedrich Herbart proposed a systematic method of teaching which is popularly known as the Harbashan approach. According to this approach, teaching should proceed through 5 formal steps. These are preparation, presentation, comparison, generalization, application. Now, if you observe carefully, focus is not included among these formal steps. So whenever a question asks about the Harbashan approach, remember these 5 steps in sequence: preparation, presentation, comparison, generalization, application. A quick net point. Herbart is known for the formal steps of teaching. His approach is teacher-centered and highly structured. Many modern approaches criticize it for giving less emphasis to learner participation. However, questions related to the formal steps are very common in NET examinations. Alright, we have successfully completed questions number 60 to 76. Let's do a very quick revision before moving ahead. Bruner's fourth principle is feedback and reinforcement. Piaget's pre-operational stage is associated with magical thinking and fantasy. Terman defined intelligence as the ability for abstract thinking. ITP 2023 framework was developed by NCTE. Jürgen Habermas proposed the theory of communicative action. Lee Shulman is associated with PCK or pedagogical content knowledge. J.S. Rajput was the first chairperson of NCTE. According to the official answer key, curriculum as all planned learning experiences is associated with Oliva. Bruce Joyce and Marcia Weil developed Bruner's concept attainment into a teaching model. Tyler identified 3 sources of curriculum objectives: student, society, and subject matter. Phenomenology is centered on the theory of intentionality. Qualitative research does not primarily use statistical analysis. Grounded theory is used for theory generation. Ethnography is the study of culture and social groups. Narrative research focuses on life stories and experiences. Halo effect was named by Thorndike in 1920. And finally, focus is not one of Herbart's formal teaching steps. Hello everyone, welcome to Karma Education. Today we are going to discuss UGC NET Education, June 2025 previous year questions. Now, moving on to question number 77. Question number 77. Which of the following model of interaction analysis assumes that non-verbal communication can be more effective during interaction in classroom? Option 1, Flanders Interaction Analysis. Option 2, R.H. Dave. Option 3, Charles Galloway. Option 4, Malcolm Knowles. Take a few seconds and think about your answer. Alright, the correct answer is option 3, Charles Galloway. Well, Charles Galloway emphasized both verbal and non-verbal communication in classroom interaction. You see, sometimes a smile, eye contact, facial expression, or hand gesture can communicate more effectively than words. Flanders mainly focused on verbal classroom interaction, whereas Galloway highlighted the importance of non-verbal behavior. A quick net point. Charles Galloway equals non-verbal communication. Flanders equals verbal classroom interaction. Malcolm Knowles equals andragogy. Now, let's see question number 78. Question number 78. Malcolm Knowles elaborated the term andragogy in his famous work Dash. Option 1, Adult Education Concept, Theory and Practice. Option 2, The Modern Practice of Adult Education Andragogy versus Pedagogy. Option 3, Theory and Practice of Andragogy. Option 4, Andragogy Education Concept, Theory and Practice. Think carefully. The correct answer is option 2, The Modern Practice of Adult Education, Andragogy versus Pedagogy. Well, Malcolm Knowles is known as the father of andragogy. Andragogy means the art and science of helping adults learn. According to Knowles, adult learners are self-directed, experience-based, and problem-centered. A quick net point. Pedagogy equals teaching children. Andragogy equals teaching adults. Malcolm Knowles equals father of andragogy. Moving on to question number 79. Question number 79. Who has given fourth generation instructional system development model or ISD to represent complexity of educational technology? Option 1, Robert Tennyson, 1995. Option 2, Spector, 2005. Option 3, Hartley and colleagues, 2010. Option 4, David Merrill, 2007. Take a moment. The correct answer is option 1, Robert Tennyson, 1995. Well, according to the official answer key, Robert Tennyson proposed the fourth generation ISD model. This model reflects the growing complexity of educational technology and focuses on learner-centered and technology-integrated learning environments. A quick net point. Robert Tennyson equals fourth generation ISD model. Educational technology frequently asks questions related to instructional design models. Now, let's move to question number 80. Question number 80. Which of the following is not related to the basic 6 components of the ASURE model? Option 1, require learner participation. Option 2, analyze teacher. Option 3, evaluate and revise. Option 4, utilize technology, media and material. Think about it. The correct answer is option 2, analyze teacher. Well, analyze teacher is not a component of the ASURE model. The 6 components are analyze learners, state objectives, select methods, media and materials, utilize media and materials, require learner participation, evaluate and revise. So remember, the model starts with analyze learners, not analyze teacher. A quick net point. ASURE model is an important instructional design model used in educational technology. Now, moving on to question number 81. Question number 81. Which of the following is now true about constructivism theory of instructional design? Option 1, learning is more a matter of going from the inside out. Option 2, learner actively imposes organization and meaning on the surrounding environment and constructs knowledge in this process. Option 3, learner receives information from environment, transforms it in many ways and acquires knowledge that is subsequently stored in memory. Option 4, constructivism has been felt keenly in the world, partly because it seems to contrast with other foundations such as information processing and Gagné's theories. Take a few seconds. The correct answer is option 3, learner receives information from environment, transforms it in many ways, and acquires knowledge that is subsequently stored in memory. Well, this statement is more closely related to information processing theory rather than constructivism. Constructivism believes that learners actively construct knowledge through interaction, experience, and meaning making. In simple words, learners are creators of knowledge, not passive receivers of information. A quick net point. Piaget and Vygotsky are major contributors to constructivism. Constructivism equals active learning. Now, let's see question number 82. Question number 82. Who coined the term X-MOOC in 2012? Option 1, William and Flora. Option 2, Stephen Downes. Option 3, Lane. Option 4, Sebastian Thrun. Think carefully. The correct answer is option 2, Stephen Downes. Well, according to the official answer key, Stephen Downes is associated with the term X-MOOC. MOOC stands for Massive Open Online Course. MOOCs are generally structured, instructor-led online courses. Platforms like Coursera and edX largely follow this model. A quick net point. Stephen Downes is closely associated with connectivism and MOOCs. Moving on to question number 83. Question number 83. Which of the following is a part of internal compliance monitoring? Option 1, maintenance of a process for reporting exceptions. Option 2, constant reviewing of the policies and procedures in the organization. Option 3, periodically assessing and reassessing the risk of criminal conduct. Option 4, implementation of the different standards as well as procedures. Take a moment. The correct answer is option 2, constant reviewing of the policies and procedures in the organization. Well, internal compliance monitoring involves continuously reviewing policies, procedures, and organizational activities to ensure proper functioning. Regular review helps identify weaknesses and improve accountability. A quick net point. Compliance monitoring equals review, accountability, and quality assurance. Now let's move to question number 84. Question number 84. The unfreeze, change, refreeze model of organizational development was given by whom? Option 1, Blake, Morton and Bidwell. Option 2, Cummings and Worley. Option 3, Kurt Lewin. Option 4, Michael J. Boyle. Think about it. The correct answer is option 3, Kurt Lewin. Well, Kurt Lewin proposed this famous model of organizational change. The 3 stages are unfreeze, change, refreeze. First, people prepare for change. Then, new practices are introduced. Finally, the new practices become a permanent part of the organization. A quick net point. Kurt Lewin equals change management. Kurt Lewin also contributed to group dynamics and field theory. Now, let's see question number 85. Question number 85. Which of the following is now true about the program evaluation and review technique or PERT? Option 1. It is a network model. Option 2. It is a project management tool. Option 3. It is a statistical tool. Option 4. It is a process-oriented technique. Take a few seconds and think about your answer. Alright, the correct answer is option 4. It is a process-oriented technique. Well, according to the official answer key, PERT is mainly a network-based project management technique used for planning, scheduling, and controlling projects. It focuses on time estimation and coordination of activities. A quick net point. PERT equals program evaluation and review technique. It is associated with project management, planning, scheduling, and network analysis. Excellent. Now, moving on to question number 86. Question number 86. Which of the following is not a stage of follower readiness according to the situational leadership model given by Hersey and Blanchard? Option 1. People who are both unable and either unwilling or too insecure to take responsibility. Option 2. People who are able but unwilling or too apprehensive to do what the leader wants. Option 3. People who are motivated and have appropriate required skills. Option 4. People who are both willing and able to take responsibility and do what is asked of them. Take a few seconds and think about your answer. The correct answer is option 3. People who are motivated and have appropriate required skills. Well, Hersey and Blanchard classified follower readiness mainly on the basis of ability and willingness. Option 3 does not exactly represent the original readiness categories. A quick net point. Hersey and Blanchard equals situational leadership theory. Now let's see question number 87. Question number 87. Which of the following disability is caused by Fragile X syndrome? Option 1, learning disability. Option 2, intellectual disability. Option 3, visual impairment. Option 4, locomotor disability. Think carefully. The correct answer is option 2, intellectual disability. Well, Fragile X syndrome is a genetic disorder and one of the most common inherited causes of intellectual disability. Children may show developmental delay, learning difficulties, and behavioral challenges. A quick net point. Fragile X syndrome equals intellectual disability. Moving on to question number 88. Question number 88. Which of the following document does not advocate for inclusive education? Option 1, National Policy on Disability, 2006. Option 2, Right to Education Act, 2009. Option 3, Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act, 2016. Option 4, National Education Policy, 2020. This question was officially dropped by UGC NET. Well, all four documents support inclusion and equal educational opportunities. Because of ambiguity in the question, UGC NET dropped it from evaluation. Now let's move to question number 89. Question number 89. Which one does not belong to inclusive approach? Option 1, flexible. Option 2, diagnostic. Option 3, individualistic. Option 4, holistic. Take a moment. The correct answer is option 2, diagnostic. Well, inclusive education focuses on flexibility, participation, cooperation, and holistic development. Diagnostic approach is mainly related to assessment and identification of learning difficulties rather than being a direct feature of inclusion. A quick net point. Inclusive education equals flexible and holistic approach. Now, moving on to question number 90. Question number 90. Which article of UNCRPD stresses awareness raising to foster respect for rights and dignity against discrimination? Option 1, Article 7. Option 2, Article 8. Option 3, Article 13. Option 4, Article 14. Think carefully. The correct answer is option 2, Article 8. Well, Article 8 deals with awareness raising. Its purpose is to promote dignity, respect, equality, and positive attitudes towards persons with disabilities. A quick net point. UNCRPD, Article 8 equals awareness raising. Now, let's see question number 91. Question number 91. Arrange the following four positions of soul from first to fourth. A. Jagrat. B. Turiya. C. Swapna. D. Pragya. The correct sequence is Jagrat, Swapna, Pragya, Turiya. Therefore, the correct answer is option 4. Well, according to the Mandukya Upanishad, these are the four states of consciousness. Jagrat means waking state. Swapna means dream state. Pragya means deep sleep state. Turiya means supreme consciousness. A quick net point. Turiya is considered the highest state of consciousness. Now, moving on to question number 92. Question number 92. Arrange the following steps of budget formulation and its role in implementation of educational programs. A. Finance Department issues guidelines. B. Heads of departments instruct subordinate offices. C. Budget serves as an instrument for implementing policies. D. Legislature appraises departmental performance before voting expenditure. The correct sequence is A. Finance Department issues guidelines. B. Heads of departments instruct subordinate offices. D. Legislature appraises departmental performance before voting expenditure. C. Budget serves as an instrument for implementing policies. Therefore, the correct answer is option 2. Well, first the Finance Department issues guidelines. Then departments prepare proposals. After legislative approval, the budget becomes an instrument for implementation. A quick net point. Budgeting is an important topic under educational finance. Now, let's move to question number 93. Question number 93. Arrange the following key points of Bandura's theory in chronological order. A. Modeling behavior. B. Social learning theory. C. Reciprocal determinism. D. Example of aggressive children. The correct sequence is A. Modeling behavior. B. Social learning theory. C. Reciprocal determinism. D. Example of aggressive children. Therefore, the correct answer is option 4. Well, Bandura first discussed modeling, then social learning theory, later reciprocal determinism, and finally practical illustrations such as aggressive behavior. A quick net point. Bandura equals observational learning, modeling, and reciprocal determinism. Now let's see question number 94. Question number 94. Arrange the following steps of action research. A. Formulation of action hypothesis. B. Identification of the problem. C. Collecting data. D. Evaluation of results. E. Formulation of action design. The correct sequence is B. Identification of the problem. A. Formulation of action hypothesis. C. Collecting data. E. Formulation of action design. D. Evaluation of results. Therefore, the correct answer is option 3. Well, action research begins with identifying a problem. Then a hypothesis is developed, data are collected, an action plan is implemented, and finally the results are evaluated. A quick net point. Action research equals immediate problem solving. Now, moving on to question number 95. Question number 95. Arrange the following commissions according to year of establishment. A. Justice Verma Commission. B. National Knowledge Commission. C. National Commission on Teachers. D. National Policy on Education. E. National Education Commission. The correct sequence is E. National Education Commission. C. National Commission on Teachers. D. National Policy on Education. B. National Knowledge Commission. A. Justice Verma Commission. Therefore, the correct answer is option 1. Well, National Education Commission came first in 1964, followed by National Commission on Teachers, National Policy on Education, National Knowledge Commission, and finally Justice Verma Commission. A quick net point. National Knowledge Commission was established in 2005 and chaired by Sam Pitroda. Now let's move to question number 96. Question number 96. According to Unruh and Unruh, arrange the curriculum development steps. A. Content. B. Goals and objectives. C. Need assessment. D. Evaluation. E. Implementation. The correct sequence is B. Goals and objectives. C. Need assessment. A. Content. E. Implementation. D. Evaluation. Therefore, the correct answer is option 1. Well, curriculum development starts with goals and objectives, followed by need assessment, content selection, implementation, and evaluation. A quick net point. Evaluation is usually the final stage of curriculum development. Now, moving on to question number 97. Question number 97. Arrange the following steps in educational research. A. Review of literature. B. Data collection. C. Formulation of hypothesis. D. Data analysis and interpretation. E. Identification of research problem. The correct sequence is E. Identification of research problem. A. Review of literature. C. Formulation of hypothesis. B. Data collection. D. Data analysis and interpretation. Therefore, the correct answer is option 1. Well, every research study starts with a problem. After reviewing literature, a hypothesis is formulated, data are collected, and finally analyzed. A quick net point. Research begins with problem identification. Now let's see question number 98. Question number 98. Arrange the following stages of an experiment. A. Selecting relevant variables. B. Designing the experiment. C. Conduct the intervention. D. Assigning participants to groups. E. Conduct the post-test. The correct sequence is A. Selecting relevant variables. B. Designing the experiment. D. Assigning participants to groups. C. Conduct the intervention. E. Conduct the post-test. Therefore, the correct answer is option 4. Well, researchers first identify variables, design the experiment, assign participants, conduct intervention, and finally administer the post-test. A quick net point. Experimental research focuses on cause and effect relationship. Now, moving on to question number 99. FIACS consists of 10 categories. Arrange the following descriptors in increasing order. A. Asking questions. B. Lecture. C. Accepts or uses ideas of pupil. D. Pupil talk initiation. E. Praise or encouragement. The correct sequence is E. Praise or encouragement. C. Accepts or uses ideas of pupil. Asking questions. B. Lecture. D. Pupil talk initiation. Therefore, the correct answer is option 2. Well, these correspond to category 2, category 3, category 4, category 5 and category 9 respectively. A quick net point. FIACS was developed by Ned Flanders. Now, let's move to question number 100. Question number 100. Arrange the given stages of reflection to write a good reflective journal. A. Feelings. B. Description. C. action plan. D, evaluation. E, conclusion. The correct sequence is B, description. E, feelings. D, evaluation. E, conclusion. C, action plan. Therefore, the correct answer is option 1. Well, according to Gibbs' reflective cycle, reflection starts with description, followed by feelings, evaluation, conclusion, and finally action plan. A quick net point. Gibbs' reflective cycle is frequently asked in teacher education and educational research. Excellent. We have now completed questions number 77 to 100. Let's do a quick revision of the important points we learned. Charles Galloway is associated with non-verbal communication in classroom interaction. Malcolm Knowles is known as the father of andragogy. Andragogy means adult education. Robert Tennyson proposed the fourth generation ISD model. The ASSURE model starts with analyze learners, not analyze teacher. Constructivism believes that learners actively construct knowledge. Stephen Downes is associated with XMOOC. Internal compliance monitoring involves continuous review of organizational policies and procedures. Kurt Lewin proposed the unfreeze, change, refreeze model. PERT stands for Program Evaluation and Review Technique. Hersey and Blanchard are associated with situational leadership theory. Fragile X syndrome is associated with intellectual disability. Inclusive education emphasizes flexibility and holistic development. Article 8 of UNCRPD deals with awareness raising. The 4 states of consciousness are Jagrat, Swapna, Praja, and Turiya. Bandura is associated with modeling, social learning theory, and reciprocal determinism. Action research follows the sequence problem, hypothesis, data collection, action design, and evaluation. The major educational commission sequence is National Education Commission, National Commission on Teachers, National Cull Policy on Education, National Knowledge Commission, and Justice Verma Commission. Curriculum development follows goals and objectives, need assessment, content, implementation, and evaluation. Educational research follows problem, literature review, hypothesis, data collection, and data analysis. Experimental research follows variables design, group assignment, intervention, and post-test. FIACS sequence is praise, accepts ideas, questions, lecture, and pupil talk initiation. Gibbs reflective cycle follows description, feelings, evaluation, conclusion, and action plan. These are the key points from this section. Try to revise them regularly because many similar questions are repeatedly asked in NET examinations. Alright friends, that's all for today's session. Thank you for watching. Keep learning, keep practicing, and keep moving towards your NET success. See you in the next session. Thank you.
So the question number 101, arrange the given in chronological order. Option A, Indian National Satellite. Option B, Center for Educational Technology. Option C, Computer Literacy and Studies. Option D, Satellite Instructional Television Experiment. And option E, SWAM. Now you have to choose the correct answer from the given option. Okay? Think carefully and give the correct answer. The correct answer over here is option 3. Option 3 starts with option D means site, then B means Center for Educational Technology, then A INSAT, then class, and after that SWAM. Let's understand why it is the correct chronological order. The correct chronological order begins with site, which was launched in 1975 as a satellite-based educational television experiment. After that, CET or Center for Educational Technology was introduced in 1984 under NCERT, okay, to promote educational technology and media-based learning. Next comes INSAT. From 1983 onwards, educational communication through satellite that expand significantly across India. Then came class, Computer Literacy and Studies in Schools, introduced in 1984.
to promote computer education among school students. Finally, SWAM was launched in 2017 as the Government of India's major online learning platform, right? So, remember for NET examination specifically, SITE stands for Satellite Instructional Television Experiment, and it is associated with satellite based educational television. Then CET stands for Center for Educational Technology under NCERT. INSAT played a major role in educational communication and broadcasting. CLASS promoted computer literacy in schools. SWAM is India's online learning platform for higher education and lifelong learning. Quick revision point: educational technology in India is closely associated with satellite education, computer assisted learning, digital learning platforms, and ICT in education. Moving to question number 102. Arrange the steps of systems approach given by Robb, 1974. Option A, specifying appropriate strategies. Option B, defining and assigning personal roles. C, determining initial behavior. D, defining objectives. E, specifying material, aids and media. Choose the correct answer from the options given below. Take a few seconds and think about your correct answer. The correct answer is option 4. Option 4 means DCABE. Defining objectives first. Then C, option C, determining initial behavior. Then A, specifying appropriate strategies. Then E, specifying material, aid and media, and after that defining and assigning personal role. Let's understand why. According to Robb's system approach, the process begins with defining objectives. Unless the objectives are clearly stated, it becomes difficult to plan any effective instruction. After setting the objectives, the initial behavior or entry behavior of learners is determined. This helps the teacher to understand learners' existing knowledge, skills and readiness. Next, appropriate teaching strategies are selected for this instruction to achieve the objectives. Finally, once the strategies are finalized, suitable materials, aids and media are specified to support teaching learning process. Finally, personal roles and responsibilities are defined and assigned to ensure proper implementation of the instructional plan. Remember, for your UGC NET exam, system approach focuses on organized instructional planning. Okay, then objectives guide the entire teaching learning process. The entire teaching learning process is guided by objectives, right? Media and materials support instruction. Clearly defined roles and responsibilities ensure proper implementation. Quick revision point: system approach is associated with instructional design, educational technology. It emphasizes a planned teaching learning process. It follows the input process output model. Many students remember the individual steps but forget the sequence. Just remember this simple order: first, define objectives; second, determine initial behavior; third, select appropriate strategies; fourth, specify materials and media; and finally, assign personal roles and responsibilities. Okay, all right, let's move to the next question. Now the question number 103. Arrange the following steps of SWOT analysis. Option A, develop strategic actions. Option B, prioritize key factors. Option C, analyze external factors. Option D, implement and monitor changes. Option E, brainstorm and list factors. Now you have to choose the correct answer from the options given below. Take a few seconds and think about your answer. The correct answer over here, option 3, E, B, C, A, D. E means brainstorm and list factors. Then B, prioritize key factors. C, analyze external factors. A, develop strategic actions. And D, implement and monitor changes. Let's understand. SWOT, SWOT, it is also known as SWOT analysis, begins with brainstorming and listing all important factors related to strengths, weakness, opportunities and threats. Once all factors have identified, the next step is to prioritize the most important one, the key factor. Okay. This helps focus attention on the factors that have the greatest impact, right? After prioritization, external factors such as opportunities and threats are carefully analyzed. Based on the analysis, strategic actions are developed to make the best use of strengths and opportunities while addressing the weaknesses and threats, right? Finally, the planned actions are implemented and continuously monitored to ensure desired outcomes. Remember, for NET exam, SWOT stands for strengths, weakness, opportunities and threats, right? And it is widely used in planning and decision making. It helps organization to identify areas for improvement and future growth. It is an important tool in strategic management, right? Quick revision point, SWOT analysis is associated with strategic planning. It is used in instructional development and it supports organizational analysis. It plays an important role in decision making and policy formulation. A simple way to remember the sequence is this: first, list the factors. Second, prioritize them. Third, analyze the external environment. Fourth, develop strategic actions. And finally, implement and monitor these actions. Okay. All right. Let's move to the next question. Moving on to question number 104. Arrange the following goals of individualized education plan IEP in correct sequence. Option A, specific. Option B, attainable. Option C, time bound. Option D, result oriented. Option E, measurable. Now choose the correct answer from the options given below. Take a moment and think carefully about your answer. The correct answer over here is option 2, that is A, E, B, D, C. A means specific, then E, measurable, B, attainable, then D, result oriented, and after that C, time bound. Let's understand these. The goals of an individualized education plan or IEP generally follow the SMART approach. The correct sequence is SMART approach. Current sequence is specific, measurable, attainable, result oriented and time bound. So stands for SMART. The next goals should be the correct order. First of all, it begins with specific. The goals should be specific. The objectives should clearly state what the learner is expected to achieve. After that, goals should be measurable so the progress can be assessed and monitored. After that, the goals should be attainable. In other words, they should be realistic and achievable according to learners' abilities and needs. The fourth characteristic is result oriented. The focus should remain on meaningful learning outcomes and educational progress. Finally, the goal should be the time bound. A clear time frame helps teachers or parents evaluate whether the objectives have been achieved within the planned period or not. These characteristics help in preparing clear, achievable and effective educational goals for children with special needs. Remember, for NET exam, IEP stands for Individualized Education Plan. It is specially prepared for children with special educational needs. It focuses on personalized learning goals, support services and individualized progress. Okay, and the purpose of IEP is to ensure that every learner receives instruction according to his or her unique requirements. In quick net point, we can say IEP is closely associated with inclusive education. It is an important concept in special education. It focuses on individual learning goals and it promotes learner-centered planning and instruction. A simple way to remember this sequence of SMART: specific, measurable, attainable, result-oriented and time-bound. Many questions in UGC NET are asked from inclusive education and special education. So, make sure you remember, you are going to remember all the full forms of related to inclusive education like IEP, and of course you have to remember its characteristics. Moving on, question number 105. Arrange the focus points given as document of NCF 2005 in correct sequence. You have to identify the correct sequence of focus points as given in NCF 2005. Option A, availability of minimum infrastructure and material facilitates for better learning environment. Option B, reconstruction of school curricula to emphasize the pedagogic potential of work. Option C, integration of environment concerns into teaching disciplines. Option D, emphasize on promoting peace-oriented values in all subjects. Choose the correct answer from the options given below. Think carefully and give the right answer. The correct answer over here is option 3, B, D, C, A. B, D, C, A. Let's understand the sequence of focus point of NCF 2005. According to the official UGC NET answer key, the sequence begin with reconstruction of school curricula to emphasize the pedagogic potential of work. NCF 2005 strongly advocated work-oriented education and learning through productive activities. The next focus point is the promotion of peace-oriented values across all subjects. The framework emphasized education for peace, tolerance, cooperation and democratic citizenship. After that comes the integration of environmental concerns into teaching disciplines. Rather than teaching environmental education as a separate subject, NCF recommended integrating environmental awareness across the curriculum. Finally, the framework highlighted the importance of providing minimum infrastructure and material facilities. Minimum infrastructure and material facilities to create supportive learning environment. Now, some important points for UGC NET exam. NCF 2005 emphasized work-centered education. Peace education was considered an important curricular concern. Environmental awareness was integrated into all disciplines and better infrastructure was viewed as essential for effective learning. Quick revision point, NCF 2005 is associated with child-centered learning. It promotes the constructivist approach to teaching learning, emphasizes peace education and environmental education, and it supports work-based, activity-based learning. Many students remember NCF 2005 for constructivism, but you also remember its focus on work education, peace education, environmental integration and learner-centered pedagogy. This is very important area for UGC NET because questions related to NCF 2005 appear frequently in previous year's papers. Let's move to the next question. Question number 106. Choose the correct statement. Option A, formal system of schooling is based on the philosophies of idealism and realism. Option B, schools formal social system has hierarchy of positions along which people are assigned different roles. Option C, realism does not recommend the definite curriculum. Option D, informal and non-formal education have their roots in the progressive philosophy of education. Option E, idealism believes that knowledge can be obtained without the help of teacher. Think about the question and choose the correct option from the given sequence of options. The correct answer over here is option 2, that is A, B, D only. You have to choose the correct statements. Read the question carefully, you have to choose the correct statements. Among the 5 statements, which are the correct one? According to official answer key, the correct answer is option 2, that is A, B, D only. Now, let us understand why only A, B, D are true and others are incorrect. Option A, it is correct. Why? Option A is correct because formal schooling has been strongly influenced by both idealism and realism. These philosophies have shaped educational aims, curriculum and teaching practices across the world. Option B, option or statement B is also correct because schools function as formal social organizations. They have a hierarchy of positions such as principals, teachers and students with clearly defined roles and responsibilities. Statement D is correct. Statement D is also correct because non-formal and informal education are closely connected with progressive philosophy. Now, progressive education, what it is? Progressive education emphasizes flexibility, learner participation and learning through experience. That is why the statement D is also correct. Now, let us look at the incorrect statement, that is option statement C. Statement C is incorrect because realism actually supports a definite and structured curriculum based on real life experiences, scientific knowledge and objective facts. Here in C or statement C says that realism does not recommend the definite curriculum, but in actually realism recommend the definite curriculum. That is why option C is incorrect. Statement E, it is also incorrect. Why? As it was saying that idealism believes that knowledge can be obtained without the help of teacher. But in reality, idealism assigns very important role of teacher. According to idealist, the teacher serves as a guide, mentor and moral leader in the educational process. Okay. So, this is how you have to exclude or eliminate the incorrect statements. Quick net point, educational philosophy is commonly associated with idealism. It is also associated with realism. Progressive education is another important area frequently asked in NET exam, and questions on formal, informal, non-formal education are regularly seen in previous year question. Now the next question is 107. Which of the following is not related to Soren Kierkegaard? Option A, truth is introvert and subjective. Option B, the world is ideas centered, entire universe is only an idea. Option C, existence of individuality is reliable and it comes prior to thinking. Option D, in order to find self-existence, subjective experience and objectivity both are important. Option E, existential self-experience is necessary. Now, you have to choose the most appropriate answer from the options given below, but the question was dropped by UGC NET in the official answer key. Understand why? The question contains conceptual ambiguity as several statements are partially connected with existentialism and subjective philosophy. Kierkegaard mainly emphasized subjective truth, individual existence, personal experience, and self-realization. He is often regarded as father of existentialism because he focused on the individual's search for meaning and authentic existence. However, some statements in these questions overlap with concepts associated with idealism and broader existential thought. Because of this overlap, it becomes difficult to identify some completely correct combination. As a result, different interpretations may lead to different answers. Due to this conceptual ambiguity, UGC NET officially dropped the question in the final answer key. So, beside this, we can extract some important point from these, that existentialism is associated with freedom and choice. It emphasizes individual experience, it gives importance to subjective truth, and it focuses on self existence and personal responsibility. Okay. Now, let's move to the next question. Moving on the next question, question number 108. This question is from Unit 2, Educational Finance. Identify the correct statements from the following. Option A, factor cost of education can be exactly put in the same fashion as treated in the case of a firm or an industry. Option B, there are no separate price indices for use in educational setup. Option C, educational demand is an external determinant of educational cost. Option D, rate of economic growth does not limit availability of revenues to education. Option E, unit costs have been used in the literature in many ways according to the objectives in view. Choose the correct answer from the options given below. Take a pause and give the correct answer. The correct answer over here is option 4, that is B, C, E only. So, B, C, E statements are correct, other options are incorrect. Okay, let's move to the explanation part. Option B is correct because education generally does not have separate price indices like industries and manufacturing sectors. Option C, statement C is also correct because educational demand affects expenditure and educational cost from outside the educational system. Then statement E is correct because unit cost is used differently according to the objectives and purposes of educational studies and planning. Now let's look the incorrect statements like option A. It is incorrect as educational cost cannot be treated exactly like industrial or business cost. And statement D, this is also incorrect because economic growth directly affects the availability of revenue and resources for education. For UGC NET exam, you have to remember educational cost differs from industrial cost. Educational demand influences educational expenditure. Unit cost is an important concept in educational finance and planning. So, quick revision point, educational finance is associated with educational cost, unit cost analysis, demand factors and resource allocation. One thing you should not forget, whenever you see questions related to educational cost, unit cost, budgeting or resource allocation, you have to recap entire knowledge related to educational finance that comes under unit 2. Okay. Moving on to the next question, question number 109. Which of the following are salient features of zero-based budgeting or ZBB? Option A, adaptability is necessary. Option B, it considers an incremental approach. Option C, decision-making units need not to be identified. Option D, it considers choice and withdrawal. Option E, management hierarchy is not a component. You have to choose the correct answer from the options given below. Now think carefully and give the right answer. The correct answer over here is option A, option 1, A and D only. So the salient features of zero-based budgeting is adaptability is necessary and it considers choice and withdrawal. Now understand the concept. Zero-based budgeting requires adaptability because every budget proposal is examined from beginning without assuming previous allocation. Previous allocations are not automatically accepted and each expenditure must be justified afresh, right? Another important feature of zero-based budgeting is the concept of choice and withdrawal. This means programs can be continued, modified and reduced or even withdrawn depending on their effectiveness and necessity. Now let's look the incorrect statements also. That is option statement B. It is incorrect because zero-based budgeting does not follow an incremental approach. Unlike traditional budgeting, it does not assume that last year's budget should automatically continue with minor adjustments. Statement C, this is also incorrect option, as decision making units must be clearly identified in zero-based budgeting. These units form the basis for evaluating and prioritizing expenditures. Statement E is incorrect because management hierarchy plays a significant role in budget review, evaluation and approval. Now, important point for UGC NET, zero-based budgeting starts from zero every year. Zero-based budgeting starts from zero every year. Previous budgets are not automatically continued. Every expenditure must be justified. The focus is on efficiency, effectiveness and accountability. Quick revision point, zero-based budgeting is associated with educational finance. It is widely used in budget planning. It supports resource optimization and it is closely related to decision package analysis. Many students confuse zero-based budgeting with incremental budgeting. Just remember this simple distinction. Incremental budgeting begins with the previous year budget, but zero-based budgeting begins from zero and requires fresh justification for every expenditure, right? One thing you should not forget, that the key idea behind zero-based budgeting is not increasing or decreasing last year's budget. The key idea is justification. Every activity must prove its worth before receiving funds. Moving on to the next question, question number 110. Which of the following statements related to learning theory approach to counseling are incorrect? So this question is from Unit 3. Statement A is Dollard and Miller relate psychoanalytic methods to reinforcement learning theory. Statement B, counseling according to Pepinski's aims to strengthen the counselee's behavior. Statement C, Eysenck refers to the conditioning methods in counseling as behavior therapy. Statement D, irrational behavior is learned and it cannot be changed through learning or relearning. Statement E, according to Pepinski's, the cultural context does not provide conditions assumed to be antecedent or subsequent learning. Now you have to choose correct answer from the options given below. A and C only, B and C only, B and D only, C and E only. But the official status of this question is the question was dropped by UGC NET. UGC NET official answer key. Let's try to understand why the question was dropped. Okay, the question created conceptual ambiguity because several statements are closely connected with learning theory and behavioral counseling approaches. Statement A. Statement A, it is generally accepted as correct because Dollard and Miller attempted to connect psychoanalytic concepts with learning theory. Their work explained behavior through concepts such as drive, cue, response, and reinforcement. Statement B is also correct. According to Pepinski's, counseling is essentially a learning process that helps strengthen desirable behavior and improve adjustment. Statement C, it is commonly associated with behavior therapy. Hence, Eysenck popularized the use of conditioning methods for behavior modification and counseling. And statement D, here is the confusion. Statement D, it says that irrational behavior is learned and cannot be changed through learning or relearning. The problem is here that learning theorists generally believe the opposite. If behavior is learned, it can also be modified, relearned, or changed through appropriate learning experiences. And statement E also creates difficulty because learning theory recognizes the importance of environmental and cultural influences on behavior. Therefore, many scholars disagree with the idea that cultural context does not influence subsequent learning. Because of these overlapping interpretations and conceptual issues, identifying one exact combination of incorrect statements became difficult. As a result, UGC NET officially dropped this question. Quick revision, we can say guidance and counseling questions often focus on major theorists and their contributions. Dollard and Miller connect psychoanalysis with learning theories. Pepinski's emphasized counseling as learning. Eysenck is linked with behavior therapy, and learning theory emphasizes that behavior can be learned, modified, and relearned. Okay. Now starts with question number 111. Identify correct assertions according to Rogers' theory of personality. Option A, self-actualizers are the healthiest 1% of the population. Option B, the perceived self influences both the person's perception of the world and his or her behavior. Option C, people are likely to function more effectively if they are brought up with unconditional positive regard. Option D, each of us has an ideal self. Option E, individuals whose self-concepts match their feelings and experiences must defend themselves against the truth. Which of the following statements are correct? You have to select an option from the given below. Take a moment and try to answer before looking at the solution. The correct option is option 2, that is B, C, D only. Remember, Rogers is known for concepts like self-concept, ideal self, and unconditional positive regard. Let's take the reason behind this. Why option 2 is correct. Here statement B is correct. Statement B was the perceived self influences both the person's perception of the world and his or her behavior. This statement is correct because Carl Rogers believed our self concept influences how we perceive the world and behave. Okay, that's why the statement is correct. And statement C, it was people are likely to function more effectively if they are brought up with unconditional positive regard. This statement is also correct as unconditional positive regard helps individuals develop a healthy personality. Statement D is also correct. Statement D says each of us has an ideal self. Because it is correct because every person has an ideal self, the person they want to become, right? So that's why this statement is also correct. Now come to option A, self actualizers are the healthiest 1% of the people. This is not a correct statement, as the idea that only 1% become self actualizers belong to Maslow's theory, not Rogers. Okay, and statement E is another incorrect option. When self concept matches experience, a person is psychologically healthy and does not need to distort reality. Whenever you see Carl Rogers, remember these 5 keywords. First one is self concept, then ideal self, unconditional positive regard, congruence, and humanistic approach. Easy memory trick for UGC NET exam. S for self concept, I for ideal self, U for unconditional positive regard, and C for congruence, and H for human psychology. Roger says the closer your real life, your real self is to your ideal self, the healthier your personality. Okay. Now moving on to the question number 112. Which of these statements does not describe snowball sampling correctly? Statement A, it is a non-probability sampling technique. Statement B, it is used when the target population is readily available. Statement C, initial participants refer others to take part in the study. Statement D, it ensures equal chance of selection for all individuals. Statement E, it is commonly used in sociological and qualitative research. You have to identify statements as per the given option. You have to identify only 2 incorrect statements about snowball sampling technique. So the correct option over here, option 2 means B and D. Let's check the answer. Statement A, it is non-probability sampling technique. Yes, this statement is correct, as snowball sampling is a non-probability sampling method. Statement B, it is used when the target population is readily available. This is incorrect because snowball sampling is generally used for hidden or hard to reach populations. Statement C says initial participants refer others to participate in the study. This is correct and forms the basis of the snowball effect. Statement D says it ensures equal chance of selection for all individuals. This is incorrect because snowball sampling does not provide equal probability of selection. Statement E, it is commonly used in sociological and qualitative research. This is correct, as it is widely used in qualitative and sociological studies. Therefore, the statements that do not describe snowball sampling correctly are B and D. Now come to UGC NET quick revision. Snowball sampling is associated with non-probability sampling, hidden population, referral technique, qualitative research, and sociological research. Remember this simple rule: snowball sampling begins with a few participants and those participants recruit others. That's why it is specially useful for studying hard to reach populations. Moving on to the next question, question number 113. Which are the main objectives of in-service education for teachers? Statement A, to provide financial incentive to the teachers. Statement B, to help teachers to know their problems and to solve them by pooling their resources and wisdom. Statement C, to broaden the mental outlook of teachers. Statement D, to increase the professional efficiency of the teacher. Statement E, to provide the facility away from the place of duty. Now you have to choose the main objectives of in-service education for teachers from the given statements and think about the answer, and this is the correct answer, option 3, B, C, D only. Let's check the answer. Statement A says that in-service education provides financial incentives to teachers. This is incorrect because the focus of in-service education is professional growth, not monetary benefits. not monetary benefits. Statement B says to help teachers identify and solve their professional problems through cooperation and sharing experiences. This is correct. Statement C is to broaden the mental outlook of teachers. This is another correct statement. This is correct because teachers are exposed to new ideas, methods and innovations. Option D, statement D, to increase the professional efficiency of the teacher. This is correct, as one of the most important objectives of in-service education. This is. Statement E, to provide facilities away from the place of the duty. It is incorrect because the purpose is professional development, not merely providing facilities, right? Therefore, the correct statements are B, C and D. Hence, the correct option is option C. UGC NET quick revision. In-service teacher education is associated with professional development, teacher competency enhancement, continuous learning, refresher courses and improvement of the teaching learning process. Remember this simple rule: in-service education means learning while serving. Learning while serving. It helps teachers remain updated, effective and professionally competent throughout their careers. Let's moving on to the next question. Question number 114. Identify incorrect statements. You have to identify incorrect statements from the given statements. Statement A, curriculum is based on the philosophy, goals and values of education. Statement B, curriculum refers to all educational activities of the school in widest possible sense. Statement C, curriculum is basically concerned in school subjects. Statement D, curriculum is a part of syllabus. Statement E, curriculum includes not only indoor activities but also outdoor activities of the school. Now you have to choose the incorrect statements from the given options. Think about carefully and give the right answer. The correct answer over here is option 3, means C and D statements are incorrect. Let's check each options. Statement A, curriculum is based on the philosophy, goals and values of education. This is a correct statement as it is developed according to the educational philosophy, aims and values. Statement B, curriculum refers to the all educational activities of the school in the widest possible sense. It is also another correct statement, as curriculum includes all learning activities inside and outside both, inside and outside of the classroom both. Statement C, curriculum is basically concerned with school subjects. It is incorrect statement, as curriculum is not a smaller concept. It is a broader than subject. It includes all the co-curricular activities, sports, projects, experience. So this is a wrong statement. Statement D, curriculum is a part of syllabus. It is another incorrect statement. Relationship is the opposite. Syllabus is the part of curriculum. Curriculum is broader aspect and it includes syllabus. Statement D, curriculum includes not only indoor activities but also outdoor activities of the school. This is another correct statement. Curriculum includes all educational experiences that contribute to learner development. So the correct option over here, so the correct option is option C and D, as both options are wrong or incorrect. Now come to the some important এখানটা কাট করতে পারবি? Remember these important concepts. Curriculum means the total educational experiences provided to learners. Syllabus is only the content that needs to be taught. Curriculum includes classroom activities, co-curricular activities, projects, sports and experience. Most important UGC NET point, curriculum is broader than syllabus. Now the next question, question number 115. Which are the requirements of effective curriculum transaction? Statement A, review of the work done previously. Statement B, material organization as available in the school. Statement C, time management. Statement D, knowing, observing and understanding children at all times. Statement E, individual responsibility. Choose the most appropriate answer from the given option. Think about the question and give the answer. The correct answer over here is option 2, that is A, C, E only. So A, C, E statements are the requirements of effective curriculum transaction. Let's check. Statement A says a review of previously completed work is necessary. This is correct because reviewing prior learning strengthens continuity and helps learners connect new concepts with existing knowledge. Statement B, material organization as available in the school. It is not included in the official answer combination and is therefore incorrect in the context of this question. Statement C says time management. This is correct because effective curriculum implementation requires proper use of instructional time. Statement D, knowing, observing and understanding children at all times, although important for teaching, it is not considered a direct requirement in the official answer key. Statement E says individual responsibility. This is correct because successful curriculum transaction depends on the responsibility, commitment of the teacher. Therefore, the correct statements are A, C and E. Now come to the UGC NET quick revision. Effective curriculum transaction is associated with review of previous learning, time management, teacher responsibility, curriculum implementation and achievement of learning outcomes. A well transacted curriculum ensures that learning objectives are achieved efficiently and meaningfully. Moving on to the next question, question number 116. Which of the following are the essential characteristics of good research hypothesis? Statement A, it should be clear and precise. Statement B, it should be testable. Statement C, it should be based on ethical consideration. Statement D, it should be stated in general terms without specifies. Statement E, it should indicate a relationship between variables. Think carefully and give the right answer. The correct answer over here is option 1, that is A, B, E only. A, B, E statements are the essential characteristics of good research hypothesis. Let's check every options. Statement A says a hypothesis should be clear and precise. This is correct because a researcher must clearly understand what is being tested. Statement B, it should be testable. This is also correct because a hypothesis must be capable of verification through research. Statement C, it should be based on the ethical consideration. This is incorrect. Ethics guide the research process, but they are not a defining characteristic of a hypothesis. Statement D says a hypothesis should be stated in general terms without specifies. This is incorrect because a good hypothesis should be specific and focused. Statement E, it says a hypothesis should indicate a relationship between variables. This is correct because hypotheses generally predict relationships between variables. Therefore, the correct statements are A, B and E. Hence, the correct answer is option 1. Now, UGC NET quick revision. Remember the key characteristics of good hypothesis. It must be clear and precise, testable, verifiable, specific, relationship between variables and based on theory or evidence. Most important exam point, a hypothesis should never be vague. It must be specific enough to be tested through research. Remember the CTSR rule, clear, testable, specific, relationship. Now moving on to the next question, question number 117. Ethical considerations in educational research include A, informed consent, B, confidentiality of participant data, C, manipulation of data to support hypothesis, D, avoidance of plagiarism, E, providing misleading information to participants. Think carefully and give the correct answer. The correct answer over here is option 2, that is A, B, D only. Let's check the answer. Statement A says informed consent. This is correct because participants must voluntarily agree to participate after understanding the research. Statement B, confidentiality of participant data. This is also correct because researchers must protect participants' privacy. Statement C says manipulation of data to support a hypothesis. This is incorrect because data fabrication or manipulation is a serious violation of research ethics. Statement D says avoidance of plagiarism. This is correct because researchers must give proper credit to original sources. Statement E says providing misleading information to participants. This is incorrect because ethical research requires honesty and transparency. Therefore, the correct statements are A, B and D. Hence, the correct answer is option 2. Now come to UGC NET quick revision. Ethical educational research is based on informed consent, confidentiality, honesty, avoidance of plagiarism, respect for participants and research integrity. Most important exam point, never manipulate data and never plagiarize. These are among the most common ethics based questions in UGC NET. Remember the ICAR rule: informed consent, confidentiality, avoid plagiarism, research integrity. Moving on to the next question, question number 118. Which of the following is true about portfolio? Statement A, portfolio contains an index or map. B, portfolio contains a collection of selected illustrative material drawn from practice and providing evidence of it. C, portfolio generally contains reasonably low validity and very high reliability. D, portfolio contains commentary discussing the evidence. Now, think about the question carefully and give the answer. The correct answer over here is option 4. That is A, B, D statements are true regarding portfolio. Let's check each options. Statement A says that the portfolio contains an index or map. This is correct because portfolios are organized collection. Portfolios are organized collection of evidence and usually include a table of contents or index. Statement B says that portfolio contains selected materials and evidence from practice. This is also correct because portfolios document learning, achievement and professional growth. Statement C says that portfolios have very low validity and very high reliability. This is incorrect because portfolio assessment generally has high validity as it reflects real performance and authentic learning. Statement D says that portfolios contain commentary discussing the evidence. This is correct because reflection and commentary are important parts of portfolio assessment. Therefore, the correct statements are A, B and D. A, B and D. Hence, the correct option is option 4. Portfolio assessment is associated with authentic assessment, continuous comprehensive evaluation, reflective learning, performance-based assessment and documentation of growth and achievement. Most important exam point, a portfolio is not just a collection of work. It also includes evidence, reflection and growth over time. Remember the PORT rule: performance, evidence, organized collection, reflection and track growth. Now the next question is question number 119. Which of the following is correct in context of writing objectives in behavioral terms? A, Robert Miller's approach 1962 has its origin from biological sciences. Statement B, Robert Merger's approach gives emphasis on the action verbs rather than mental processes. C, Regional College of Education, Mysore, NCERT, 1972 approach for writing behavioral objectives emphasized on mental abilities. D, Robert Major concentrates on cognitive, affective and psychomotor objectives. E, B. S. Bloom has shifted the emphasis from content to objective. Now think carefully and try to give the answer. The correct answer is option 1, B, C, E only. Now check the options given in the question. Statement A says Robert Miller's approach originated from biological sciences. It is an incorrect statement. As the Miller's approach is not generally described as originating from biological sciences in the context of behavioral objectives. Statement B says Robert Major's approach gives emphasis on action verbs rather than mental processes. But he stressed observable and measurable behaviors using action verbs such as identify, define, explain, and demonstrate. Statement C is another correct statement. Regional College of Education, Mysore approach emphasized on mental abilities. The RCE Mysore approach focused on development and assessment of mental abilities. So this is the correct statement. Statement D says Major concentrated on cognitive, affective, and psychomotor objectives. This is incorrect because these domains are mainly associated with Bloom, Krathwohl, and Simpson. Statement E says Bloom shifted the emphasis from content to objectives. This is correct because Bloom focused on what learners should achieve rather than merely what teachers should teach. Therefore, the correct statements are B, C, and E. Hence, the correct answer is option 1. Now, UGC NET quick revision. Behavioral objectives are associated with Robert Major. Action verbs, observable behavior, measurable learning outcomes, Bloom's taxonomy, and the mental abilities approach of RCE Mysore. Most important exam point, behavioral objectives should always be written in terms of what the learner will do, not what the teacher will teach. Remember the MAB rule, merger relates with measurable behavior, action verbs relates with observable performance, and Bloom objectives before content. Let's start the next question. Question number 120. Which of the following statements are true about educational technology? A. Educational technology borrowed the term systems approach from management studies. B. By the mid-1950s, educational technology borrowed the term system approach. C. Technology of education implies the use of audiovisual aids. D. Educational technology borrowed the term corrective feedback from cybernetics. E. In the initial phase of development of educational technology, it mainly referred to technology in education, right? So this is the statements. You have to select the correct statements regarding educational technology. Think carefully and give the answer. The correct answer over here is option 3, A, D, E. Let's check each statements. Statement A. Statement A, educational technology borrowed the term systems approach from management studies. This is a correct statement. Educational technology adopted the system approach for planning, implementing, and evaluating the teaching learning process, and it is borrowed from management studies. So this is the correct option, correct statement. Next is statement B. By the mid-1950s, educational technology borrowed the term system approach. This is incorrect as it became prominent mainly during the 1960s, not specifically in the mid-50s. So this is the incorrect statement. Now, statement C, technology of education implies the use of audio-visual aids. Incorrect because the use of audio-visual aids is associated with technology in education, not technology of education. Okay. Then D option, statement D, educational technology borrowed the term corrective feedback from cybernetics. This is correct as the concept of feedback was borrowed from the cybernetics, which studies control and communication system. Statement E, the initial phase of educational technology mainly referred to technology in education. This is correct because the initial focus was on media, teaching aids, and instructional devices. Therefore, the correct statements are A, D, and E. Now come to the UGC NET quick revision. Educational technology is associated with system approach, cybernetics, and feedback. टेक्नोलॉजी इन एजुकेशन, टेक्नोलॉजी ऑफ एजुकेशन, इंस्ट्रक्शनल डिजाइन एंड इम्प्रूवमेंट ऑफ द टीचिंग लर्निंग प्रोसेस. Most important exam point, technology in education is equal to hardware approach is equal to audiovisual aids. Technology of education is equal to software approach is equal to learning theories and instructional design. Remember the SFIT rule, system, feedback in education, technology of education. क्वेश्चन में पूछा गया है आइडेंटिफाई करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट्स. यहाँ पे ए से ई तक का जितने भी स्टेटमेंट्स दिया हुआ है, 5 स्टेटमेंट्स में से आपको करेक्ट आइडेंटिफाई करना है. ठीक है, पहले तो क्वेश्चन ध्यान से देख लीजिए, करेक्ट है ना इनकरेक्ट है, ट्रू है ना फॉल्स है, ये देखना है आपको. फर्स्ट आपको पूछा गया है कि करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट कौन सा है. चलिए पढ़ते हैं. ऑप्शन स्टेटमेंट ए विकी अलाउज मल्टीपल यूजर्स to read and write a web document by editing is not allowed, but editing is not allowed. देखिए विकी होता क्या है, विकी एक वेबसाइट है और यू कैन से इट इज ए कलेक्शन ऑफ वेब पेजेस. यहाँ पे बहुत सारे वेब पेजेस हमको देखने को मिलता है जहां पे आप कोलैबोरेटिवली, मतलब आप भी कर सकते हैं, हम भी कर सकते हैं, किसी और भी कर सकते हैं, क्या कर सकते हैं, इंफॉर्मेशन क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, पढ़ सकते हैं और उसको एडिट भी कर सकते हैं, है ना. तो विकी में आप डॉक्यूमेंट, वेब डॉक्यूमेंट को पढ़ सकते हैं, राइट कर सकते हैं, लिख सकते हैं, पढ़ सकते हैं और उसको एडिट भी कर सकते हैं. तो सीधा सीधा यहाँ पे लिखा है कि एडिटिंग इज नॉट अलाउड. तो यहीं पे आपका स्टेटमेंट ए गलत हो जाता है. अब ऑप्शन में आ जाइए, आपको कहाँ पे ए है देख लीजिए. ऑप्शन ए में है तो मतलब आपका ऑप्शन ए नहीं होगा. ऑप्शन बी में ए है, नहीं होगा, ये गलत नहीं हो सकता है. ऑप्शन 3 में ए है तो इसको भी कट कर दीजिए. 4 में नहीं है तो उसको जाने दीजिए. आपको पढ़ना है ऑप्शन 2 और 4 में क्या क्या कॉमन है. बी और सी सीधा सीधा दिख रहा है कि दोनों में ही है, दोनों ऑप्शन में है, तो आपको डी और ई देखना है. समझ में आ रहा है. तो डी में देख लेते हैं पहले क्या है. टू क्रिएट ए विकी फॉर ए कोर्स, फैकल्टी कैन यूज इधर ए कैंपस वाइड लर्निंग मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम और एन ओपन सोर्स प्रोग्राम. यहाँ पे बोला गया है कि एक कोर्स आपको बनाना है विकी में, ठीक है. तो उसके लिए आप क्या एलएमएस यूज कर सकते हैं, लर्निंग मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम को यूज कर सकते हैं और एन ओपन सोर्स प्रोग्राम यूज कर सकते हैं. सिंपली अगर आप विकी डेवलप करना चाहते हैं, क्रिएट करना चाहते हैं, तो सीधी बात आप एलएमएस और ओपन सोर्स टूल यूज कर सकते हैं. एलएमएस मतलब एक वेबसाइट है जहां पे आप आपका जो लर्निंग एक्टिविटी है उसको प्रिपेयर करते हैं. बेसिकली ये एजुकेशन और ट्रेनिंग मैनेजमेंट के लिए यूज होता है. और ओपन सोर्स टूल जो है ये भी एक वेबसाइट है जहां जो फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट होता है. और ये बस एजुकेशन में लिमिटेड नहीं है, इसका पर्पस एजुकेशन के बियॉन्ड जाता है. मतलब ऑफिस वर्क हो सकता है, आप वेब डेवलप करना चाहते हैं तब भी आप ये ओपन सोर्स टूल यूज कर सकते हैं, राइट. तो ये दोनों ही आप यूज कर सकते हैं विकी डेवलपमेंट के लिए. तो आपका डी भी यहाँ पे करेक्ट ऑप्शन हो जाता है. तो डी मतलब देखो ऑप्शन 2 में ही आपका डी है, 4 में तो नहीं है, तो ये भी गलत हो जाता है. तो आंसर आ गया हमारा करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट बी, सी एंड डी. ठीक है, तो बाकी स्टेटमेंट्स भी एक बार चेक कर लेते हैं. जैसे कि बी में क्या है, ए ब्लॉग यूजेस वीडियोस एज द प्राइमरी मीडिया सोर्स. देखो ब्लॉग में ना जो वी है ये वीडियोस को ही डिनोट करता है. इसका मतलब ब्लॉग में वीडियो को ही प्राइमरी मीडिया सोर्स जैसे यूज किया जाता है. तो ये सही बात है. और ऑप्शन सी में है, स्टेटमेंट सी में है, माइक्रो ब्लॉग सर्विसेज अलाउ यूजर टू सेंड टेक्स्ट बेस्ड अपडेट्स और पोस्ट शॉर्ट मैसेजेस. माइक्रो ब्लॉग में टेक्स्ट ही यूज होता है, माइक्रो ब्लॉग में कभी मल्टीमीडिया यूज नहीं होता है. और यहाँ पे एक छोटा छोटा शॉर्ट मैसेजेस आप सेंड कर सकते हैं. तो ये भी सही आंसर, सही स्टेटमेंट है. डी डिस्कस कर चुके हैं. ई में क्या है, ब्लॉग कंसिस्ट्स ऑफ सीरीज ऑफ टाइम स्टैम्प एंट्रीज पोस्टेड बाय रीडर्स फॉलोड बाय ब्लॉग्स क्रिएटर. नहीं, यहाँ पे ब्लॉग में रीडर पोस्ट नहीं कर सकते हैं, रीडर बस रीड कर सकते हैं. ब्लॉग में जो क्रिएटर है, ब्लॉग जिसने क्रिएट किए हैं उन्होंने ही बस उसको एडिट कर सकते हैं, और कोई नहीं। ब्लॉग में आप जो मतलब जो भी पोस्ट करेंगे वो क्रिएटर करेंगे, रीडर नहीं कर सकते हैं। यहाँ पे बोला गया है कि रीडर कर सकते हैं, तो इसीलिए ये गलत हो जाता है। ठीक है, आगे बढ़ते हैं नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन की ओर। क्वेश्चन नंबर 122, आइडेंटिफाई करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट्स। स्टेटमेंट ए, LMX थ्योरी इज डायरेक्ट थ्योरी ऑफ लीडरशिप। लीडर मेंबर एक्सचेंज थ्योरी, यहाँ पे मेंबर इंडिविजुअल मेंबर के साथ लीडर का क्या रिलेशनशिप है उस पर फोकस किया गया है, तो ये स्टेटमेंट इसीलिए करेक्ट है। ऑप्शन 1 में है ए, ऑप्शन 2 में ए है, ऑप्शन 3 में ए नहीं है, 4 में भी नहीं है, तो पहले ऑप्शन 3 एंड 4 कट हो जाता है, एलिमिनेट कर दो। बी क्या है, स्टेटमेंट बी। अब देखो आपको बस डी और सी देखने से ही हो जाएगा, आपका आंसर निकल जाएगा, पर फिर भी मैं बी को भी एक बार देख लेती हूँ। स्टेटमेंट बी में है वेरिएबल वैल्यू इज ए टाइप ऑफ पोकायोके मेथड। पोकायोके मेथड यानी कि मिस्टेक प्रूफिंग और एरर प्रूफिंग मेथड, जिसको सिगेओ सिंगो ने दिए थे। यहाँ पे क्या होता है, किसी एक मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनी में जब हम इंस्टेंटली एरर को डिटेक्ट करते हैं और करेक्ट कर लेते हैं, इसी कंसेप्ट को पोकायोके बोला जाता है। अब यहाँ पे इसके साथ वेरिएबल वैल्यू का कोई रिलेशन नहीं है। वेरिएबल यानी कि जो चेंजेबल, जो चेंज हो सकता है, इस टाइप का एक चीज़ को अगर आप वैल्यू ऐड कर देते हैं तब वो वेरिएबल वैल्यू हो जाता है, जिसके साथ पोकायोके का कोई संबंध नहीं है, तो बी इसीलिए नहीं होगा, इनकरेक्ट स्टेटमेंट है। स्टेटमेंट सी, सिक्स सिग्मा टेक्निक्स आर यूज्ड बेसिकली इन मार्शल आर्ट। सिक्स सिग्मा एक क्वालिटी इंप्रूवमेंट टेक्निक है, इसके साथ मार्शल आर्ट का कोई संबंध नहीं है। सिक्स सिग्मा में क्या होता है, टू इम्प्रूव क्वालिटी को, प्रोडक्ट का क्वालिटी इंप्रूव करने के लिए आपको पहले क्या करना है, एरर को रिड्यूस करना है और कस्टमर को सेटिस्फाई करना है, और साथ ही साथ क्या होगा ना, आपका एफिशिएंसी इंप्रूव हो जाता है। ये होता है सिक्स सिग्मा। ये एक बहुत बड़ा टॉपिक है, बाद में हम डिस्कस करेंगे। यहाँ पे बस इतना ही बोल सकते हैं कि सिक्स सिग्मा के साथ मार्शल आर्ट का कोई संबंध नहीं है, तो ऑप्शन सी इनकरेक्ट, मतलब आपका आंसर यहाँ पे आ गया, करेक्ट आंसर इज ऑप्शन 1 ए एंड डी ओनली। डी में क्या है, सी के प्रहलाद हाईलाइटेड द अनटैप्ड मार्केट पोटेंशियल ऑफ द वर्ल्ड्स पुअरेस्ट पॉपुलेशंस। सी के प्रहलाद ने एक थ्योरी दिए थे, बॉटम ऑफ द पिरामिड। यहाँ पे बोला गया है कि वर्ल्ड में जो लार्जेस्ट पॉपुलेशन है वो सबसे पोरेस्ट है, तो बिजनेस के माध्यम से अगर उनको कंज्यूमर में कन्वर्ट कर देते हैं तो आपका बिजनेस में भी प्रॉफिट आएगा और उन पुअर को भी आप एम्पावर कर सकते हैं। अब फॉर एग्जाम्पल वो कैसे, फॉर एग्जाम्पल 5 रुपए का जो बिस्किट का पैकेट आता है, 1 रुपए का जो शैम्पू का सैचे आता है, ऐसे जो प्रोडक्ट है वो एक पुअर परचेज कर सकते हैं, है ना। तो इसके माध्यम से आप उनको भी एम्पावर कर रहे हैं, प्रोडक्ट का प्राइस ऐसे रखते हैं अफोर्डेबल प्राइस, ताकि एक पुअर भी वो प्रोडक्ट बाई कर सकते हैं, परचेज कर सकते हैं। इससे क्या होगा, वो भी एम्पावर्ड होंगे और आपका भी बिजनेस में प्रॉफिट आएगा। तो ये है बॉटम ऑफ द पिरामिड, जहाँ पे एक अनटैप्ड, ह्यूज अनटैप्ड मार्केट है, उसको डिस्कवर करना है। तो ये भी सही स्टेटमेंट है। ऑप्शन स्टेटमेंट ई में क्या है, फिडलर्स कंटिजेंसी थ्योरी एडवोकेट्स दैट देयर इज ऑलवेज वन बेस्ट स्टाइल ऑफ लीडरशिप। नहीं, यहीं पे गलत होता है। फिडलर का जो कंटिजेंसी थ्योरी है वो सिचुएशन पे डिपेंड करके लीडरशिप को सिलेक्ट करने के लिए बोलते हैं। यहाँ पे कोई एक बेस्ट लीडरशिप स्टाइल के बारे में नहीं बोला गया है। You have to select, you have to choose one style of leadership based upon situation. Okay, so यहाँ पे आपका करेक्ट ऑप्शन है ऑप्शन 1। ऑप्शन 1 में है स्टेटमेंट ए एंड डी। Now question number 123, according to NEP 2020, which of the following recommendations are true? Statement A, there will be one umbrella institution, the National Higher Education Regulatory Council. नहीं, NHERC एक रेगुलेटरी पार्टिकल है, ये अम्ब्रेला इंस्टीट्यूशन नहीं है। अम्ब्रेला इंस्टीट्यूशन कौन सा है? हायर एजुकेशन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया, HECI। तो ये इसीलिए गलत हो जाता है, ऑप्शन ए गलत। Statement B, there will be one independent vertical for accreditation called the National Accreditation Council, NAC. Yes, this is a correct statement. तो B correct है। C में क्या है? The regulatory regime shall not encourage private philanthropic efforts in education. ये भी गलत, क्यों? क्योंकि NEP 2020 के हिसाब से प्राइवेट फिलान्थ्रोपिक एफोर्ट इन एजुकेशन को एनकरेज किया गया है, ठीक है। ये नॉट के कारण ये गलत हो जाता है। डी में क्या है? विद इन 15 years ऑल हायर एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस इन इंडिया विल एम टू बिकम इंडिपेंडेंट सेल्फ गवर्निंग इंस्टीट्यूशंस। ये भी रिकमेंड किया गया था NEP 2020 के द्वारा कि इन फ्यूचर विद इन 15 years सारे हायर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशन सेल्फ गवर्निंग इंडिपेंडेंट इंस्टीट्यूशन में कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा। तो डी भी करेक्ट। ई में क्या है? प्राइवेट हायर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशंस विल बी एम्पावर्ड टू सेट फीस फॉर देयर प्रोग्राम्स इंडिपेंडेंटली। ये भी एक सही रिकमेंडेशन है कि ट्रांसपेरेंट नॉर्म के हिसाब से आपको दिखाना है क्यों ले रहे हैं, पर उस बेसिस पे अगर आपका नॉर्म्स ट्रांसपेरेंट है तो आप एज ए प्राइवेट हायर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशन अपना फी स्ट्रक्चर कंस्ट्रक्ट कर सकते हैं। ये भी सही है। तो ऑप्शन सी में क्या है? BDE, ये आपका यहाँ पे करेक्ट आंसर हो जाता है। क्वेश्चन नंबर 124, which of the following are correct principles of the UN Convention on the Rights of People with Disabilities? UN कन्वेंशन में PWD लोगों के लिए क्या, PWD लोगों का राइट्स के लिए क्या क्या प्रिंसिपल्स रखा गया था? ऑप्शंस देखो, नॉन डिस्क्रिमिनेशन, एक्सेसिबिलिटी, पार्शियल पार्टिसिपेशन, इक्वल ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटी, सेग्रीगेटेड अप्रोच। ये ऑप्शंस में से जो नेगेटिव बातें हैं उसको हटा दो, आंसर मिल जाएगा। नॉन डिस्क्रिमिनेशन, ऑब्वियसली डिस्क्रिमिनेट करने के लिए तो कोई कन्वेंशन नहीं रख सकते हम सबको साथ लेके चलना चाहते हैं। तो PWD लोगों को जब हम इंक्लूड करेंगे, इंक्लूशन के अंदर लाएंगे, तभी तो काम बनेगा, तभी उनका राइट ठीक से हम रख पाएंगे। तो नॉन डिस्क्रिमिनेशन आपका आंसर होगा। एक्सेसिबिलिटी, ऑब्वियसली उनके लिए हर जगह पे एक्सेसिबिलिटी का व्यवस्थाएं बना देना, ये भी आता है इसके अंदर। थर्ड है पार्शियल पार्टिसिपेशन। क्यों पार्शियल? क्यों फुल क्यों नहीं? तो ये गलत है, पार्शियल वाला आपको एलिमिनेट करना है। इक्वलिटी ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटी, हाँ सबके लिए हमको देखना है तो अपॉर्चुनिटी सबको मिले, सबको बराबर मिले, ये भी होगा। और ऑप्शन ई में है सेग्रीगेटेड अप्रोच, मतलब अलग कर देना। नहीं, हम अलग नहीं करना चाहते हैं, सबको साथ में लेके चलना चाहते हैं। यही है राइट्स ऑफ द पीपल ऑफ डिसेबिलिटीज, राइट्स ऑफ द PWD पीपल। तो इसलिए ये दो नेगेटिव बातों को अगर आप हटा देंगे तो आपका करेक्ट आंसर निकल के आएगा A, B एंड D। क्वेश्चन नंबर 125, which of the following statements are incorrect regarding benefits of inclusion? यहाँ पे आपको incorrect statement regarding benefits of inclusion आइडेंटिफाई करना है, जो आपका आंसर होगा। Statement A, social competence and communication skills of children with diverse abilities are deteriorated in inclusive settings. क्या inclusive setting के अंदर जो diverse एबिलिटीज वाले बच्चे रहते हैं उनका कम्युनिकेशन स्किल डिटोरिएट कर जाता है, डिक्रीज हो जाता है? नहीं, तो ये गलत है। पर क्या ये आपका आंसर होगा? यस, ये आपका आंसर होगा। जो गलत है वही आपका आंसर होगा। उसके बाद बी, चिल्ड्रेन विद डिसेबिलिटीज डेमोन्स्ट्रेट हाई लेवल्स ऑफ सोशल इंटरैक्शन विथ नॉन डिसेबल पीयर्स इन द इंक्लूसिव सेटिंग। हाँ, ये बात सही है। जो डिसेबिलिटीज जिन बच्चों का है वो अगर इंक्लूसिव सेटिंग में रहेंगे नॉन डिसेबल बच्चों के साथ तो इंटरैक्शन, सोशल इंटरैक्शन अच्छा हो जाता है। तो ये सही है, तो सही है मतलब आपका ये आंसर नहीं होगा, ठीक है, आपको गलत आइडेंटिफाई करना है। उसके बाद फ्रेंडशिप्स more commonly develop between children with disabilities and those without disabilities in inclusive setting, ये भी सही है, तो इसलिए ये आपका आंसर नहीं होगा। ऑप्शन स्टेटमेंट डी में है चिल्ड्रन विद डिसेबिलिटीज डेमोन्स्ट्रेट हाई लेवल्स ऑफ सोशल इंटरेक्शन विद डिसेबल पीयर्स इन इंक्लूसिव सेटिंग। डिसेबिलिटीज है ऐसे बच्चे विदाउट डिसेबिलिटी वाले बच्चों के साथ सोशल इंटरेक्शन इनका हाई लेवल पे होता है, ये बात सही है, तो ये भी आपका आंसर नहीं होगा। स्टेटमेंट डी ई क्या है, सोशल एक्सेप्टेंस ऑफ चिल्ड्रन विद डाइवर्स एबिलिटीज इज डिक्रीज्ड इन इंक्लूसिव सेटिंग, ये गलत है। सोशल एक्सेप्टेंस ऑफ चिल्ड्रन विद डाइवर्स एबिलिटीज, डाइवर्स एबिलिटीज वाले बच्चों का सोशल एक्सेप्टेंस कम हो जाता है, ऐसा नहीं है, तो ये भी गलत है। तो गलत आपको आइडेंटिफाई करना है, ए, ऑप्शन ए एंड ई विल बी द करेक्ट फॉर दिस क्वेश्चन। ना क्वेश्चन नंबर 126, एक मैचिंग टाइप का क्वेश्चन आया है। अब स्टेटमेंट ए, दिस एजुकेशन ऑट टू बी फॉर देम ए काइंड ऑफ इंश्योरेंस अगेंस्ट अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट, किस टाइप की चीज़ों का बात कर रहा है ये स्टेटमेंट। दिस एजुकेशन ought to be for them a kind of insurance against unemployment, ये शिक्षा उनके लिए बेरोजगारी के विरुद्ध बीमा होनी चाहिए, यानी कि नई तालीम जैसे चीज़ों की बात यहाँ पे हो रहा है। नई तालीम लिंक होता है एम के गांधी के साथ, तो स्टेटमेंट ए 3 के साथ मैच होता है। स्टेटमेंट बी, यू कैन नॉट टीच ए चाइल्ड एनी मोर देन यू कैन ग्रो ए प्लांट, द प्लांट डेवलप्स इट्स ओन नेचर, एक पौधा जैसे खुद को एक्सप्रेस करते हैं, खुद का नेचर को वो एक्सप्रेस कर पाते हैं, वैसी शिक्षा ऐसा होना चाहिए ताकि बच्चे अपना खुद का जो नेचर है उसको एक्सप्रेस कर पाए। इनर परफेक्शन की बात किया गया है यहाँ पे। इनर परफेक्शन किसने कहा था, स्वामी विवेकानंद जी ने, तो बी के साथ 4 मैच होता है। एवरी चाइल्ड इज एन इंक्वायरर एन इन्वेस्टिगेटर एनालाइजर ए मार्सिलेस एनाटोमिस्ट, इंक्वायरी की बात, सेल्फ इंक्वायरी की बात किसने किए थे, श्री अरविंद जी ने किए थे, है ना। इंटीग्रल एजुकेशन और सेल्फ डिस्कवरी की बात उन्होंने किए थे कि एजुकेशन सिस्टम ऐसा हो ताकि बच्चे खुद डिस्कवरी मेथड के माध्यम से चीज़ों को जान सके, नॉलेज गेन कर सके। देन ऑप्शन डी, ट्रू एजुकेशन कंसिस्ट्स इन knowing the use of any useful material that has been collected to know its real nature and to build along with life a real shelter for life। यहाँ पे लाइफ सेंटर्ड एजुकेशन का बात किया गया है। वास्तविक शिक्षा ऐसा होना चाहिए ताकि वो हमारा जो रियल शेल्टर फॉर लाइफ होता है वो ऑप्शन डी, true education consists in knowing the use of any useful material and that has been collected to know its real nature and to build along with life a real shelter for life। किसी भी चीज के बारे में जानकारी कैसे आपके जीवन का आश्रय बन सकता है, तभी किसी भी जानकारी आपके लिए आश्रय स्थल बनेगा जब आप उसके बारे में, उसका जो रियल नेचर है उसको जानेंगे। ट्रू एजुकेशन, वास्तविक शिक्षा ऐसा ही होना चाहिए जो दुनिया में जितने भी चीज़ें हैं उसके बारे में, उस चीज़ों का जो रियल नेचर है उसको अनवेल कर सके, वही होता है ट्रू एजुकेशन। आर.एन. टेगर ने इस चीज़ पे फोकस किए थे कि एजुकेशन शुड बी, ट्रू एजुकेशन शुड बी रियल एक्सपीरियंस बेस्ड, आप अपने जीवन के माध्यम से चीज़ों को जानें और इसी प्रकार से आपका जो ज्ञान है, नॉलेज है, वो आपके लाइफ के लिए एक रियल शेल्टर बन सकता है। तो ये ऑप्शन डी ऑप्शन 1 के साथ मैच होता है। यहाँ पे करेक्ट आंसर है ऑप्शन 2। क्वेश्चन नंबर 127, अगेन ए मैचिंग टाइप क्वेश्चन। धारणा प्रत्याहारा, ध्यान एंड समाधि। इस साइड पे है टू कट द रिलेशनशिप ऑफ वेरियस सेंस ऑर्गन्स फ्रॉम द रिस्पेक्टिव सब्जेक्ट्स, यानी कि बाहर का जो दुनिया है, एक्सटर्नल एनवायरनमेंट से हमारा जो मन है उसको विदड्रॉ कर लेना और इनवर्ड उसको बैठा लेना, यानी कि खुद के बारे में सोचने का प्रयास करना। तो ये जो विदड्रॉ है उसको हम प्रत्याहार के साथ रिलेट करते हैं, ठीक है। टू अप्लाई द माइंड टू सम इंटरनल सब्जेक्ट, जब हम अपना मन को इंटरनल सब्जेक्ट के ओर ले जाते हैं उसको धारणा बोला जाता है, ठीक है। उसके बाद ध्यान बिकम्स स्टेबल इन ध्येय, यानी कि एक पर्टिकुलर ऑब्जेक्ट के ओर कंटिन्यूअसली हम जब कंसंट्रेट कर पाते हैं, व्हेन we will able to do that, कि continuous concentration on one object, उसको हम क्या बोलते हैं, समाधि, ठीक है। to concentrate attention on a particular subject of mind, जब मन में एक ही पर्टिकुलर चीज पे फोकस करते हैं उसको हम ध्यान बोलते हैं, ठीक है। तो यहाँ पे आपका आंसर हो जाता है ऑप्शन 3। अब आते हैं 128 क्वेश्चन पे। यहाँ पे नेम ऑफ द कमिटी और कमीशन है लिस्ट 1 में। लिस्ट 2 में आपको कुछ ईयर्स दिया गया है, आपको मैच करना है। ऑप्शन ए नेशनल कमीशन ऑन टीचर्स, इट वाज कंस्टिट्यूटेड इन 1999। ऑप्शन ए ऑप्शन 2 के साथ मैच होता है। यशपाल कमिटी रिपोर्ट ऑन टीचर एजुकेशन वाज सबमिटेड इन 2009, बी के साथ 4 मैच हो जाता है। जस्टिस वर्मा कमिटी रिपोर्ट सबमिट करता है अपना रिपोर्ट 2012 में, और नेशनल नॉलेज कमीशन वाज कंस्ट्रक्टेड इन 2007। तो आपका आंसर यहाँ पे ऑप्शन 4, करेक्ट आंसर इज ऑप्शन 4। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज क्वेश्चन नंबर 129। थ्योरीज के साथ इसका एट्रीब्यूट्स आपको मैच करना है। फर्स्ट ऑप्शन इज सिग्नलिंग थ्योरी। सिग्नलिंग थ्योरी में क्या होता है, दोनों पर्सन के बीच अगर सेम इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं रहता है तो कैसे एक पर्सन दूसरे को वो इंफॉर्मेशन सेंड करते हैं। इस मतलब दोनों के पास सेम इंफॉर्मेशन ना होना, इसको इंफॉर्मेशन एसिमेट्री बोला जाता है। इंफॉर्मेशन एसिमेट्री। फॉर एग्जाम्पल ए स्टूडेंट जब एक डिग्री अर्न करते हैं तो वो सिग्नल बन जाता है एक एम्प्लॉयर के लिए। वो डिग्री देख के एम्प्लॉयर उस पर्सन को सिलेक्ट करते हैं फॉर देयर कंपनी कि हाँ इसके पास नॉलेज है, स्किल्स है, ठीक है। उसके बाद है ह्यूमन कैपिटल थ्योरी। ह्यूमन कैपिटल थ्योरी पे क्या होता है, एजुकेशन, ट्रेनिंग, स्किल, ये सारे चीज़ों को इन्वेस्टमेंट के तौर पर देखा जाता है, जो इन फ्यूचर एक व्यक्ति के लिए फ्यूचर इनकम का सोर्स बनता है और वो उस व्यक्ति का प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ाने में मदद करता है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल एक व्यक्ति अगर मतलब हायर एजुकेशन गेन करते हैं तब उनका जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटी बढ़ जाता है, हायर सैलरी वाला जॉब भी मिलता है, ठीक है। तो ये किसके साथ जा रहा है, इंडिविजुअल्स टेक एक्शंस दैट विल लाइकली इंक्रीज देयर फ्यूचर अर्निंग। फ्यूचर अर्निंग के साथ ह्यूमन कैपिटल थ्योरी ये जा रहा है। ऑप्शन बी 1 के साथ मैच हो रहा है। देन बिहेवियरिज्म। बिहेवियरिज्म तो कहता है कि ऑब्जर्वेबल बिहेवियर ही एक्चुअल बिहेवियर है रादर देन इंटरनल थॉट्स और फीलिंग्स। यहाँ पे बिलीव किया जाता है कि बिहेवियर एनवायरनमेंट, रिवॉर्ड्स एंड पनिशमेंट के द्वारा शेप्ड होता है, फॉर्म होता है। तो एक स्टूडेंट अगर मेहनत करके पढ़ाई करते हैं तो अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस, अच्छा मार्क्स उसको रिवॉर्ड के तौर पर मिलता है। तो ये सी किसके साथ मैच हो रहा है कि स्टडी ऑफ पॉलिटिक्स शुड बिगिन विद सोसाइटी। ऑप्शन सी ऑप्शन 4 के साथ मैच हो रहा है। देन थ्योरी ऑफ रैशनल चॉइस। रैशनल चॉइस थ्योरी में क्या बोला जाता है कि पीपल अपने पर्सनल प्रेफरेंस के अकॉर्डिंग मैक्सिमम बेनिफिट देने वाला ऑप्शन को चूज करते हैं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल एक स्टूडेंट बहुत सारे कोर्स में से जब एक कोर्स को सिलेक्ट करते हैं तब वो क्या देखते हैं, अपना इंटरेस्ट एरिया देखते हैं और क्या देखते हैं, गोल देखते हैं, अपना करियर गोल क्या है। तो वो अपना खुद का इंटरेस्ट और करियर गोल के अकॉर्डिंग ही एक कोर्स को सिलेक्ट करते हैं। इस चीज को थ्योरी ऑफ रैशनल चॉइस बोला जाता है। देखिए ऑप्शन 2 में इंडिविजुअल्स चूज ए कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन दैट इज मोस्ट इन लाइन विद देयर पर्सनल प्रेफरेंसेस। ये सारे की टर्म है जिसको देख के आपको ये ऐसे क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करना होता है। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे आपका करेक्ट ऑप्शन हो जाता है ऑप्शन 4। नाउ क्वेश्चन नंबर 130, यहाँ पे डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म से क्वेश्चन है। फर्स्ट है रिप्रेशन। रिप्रेशन का मतलब क्या है? जब हमारे साथ कुछ ट्रॉमेटिक इवेंट हो जाता है तब हम उस पेनफुल फीलिंग को, थॉट को हमारा कॉन्शियस अवेयरनेस में रखना नहीं चाहते हैं। तब हम क्या करते हैं, अनकॉन्शियसली उसको पुश बैक कर देते हैं, हमारा जो कॉन्शियस अवेयरनेस है उससे हटा देते हैं। इस चीज को रिप्रेशन बोला जाता है, जो ऑप्शन 2 के साथ मैच होता है। देखिए, एक्सक्लूडिंग फ्रॉम कॉन्शियस अवेयरनेस, कॉन्शियस अवेयरनेस से एक्सक्लूड कर देते हैं किसको? इम्पल्सेस और मेमोरीज दैट आर टू फ्राइटनिंग और पेनफुल। जो पेनफुल फीलिंग है उसको हटा देते हैं कॉन्शियस अवेयरनेस से। उसके बाद रैशनलाइजेशन। रैशनलाइजेशन का मतलब क्या होता है कि हम किसी एक्शन का लॉजिकल एक्सप्लेनेशन देते हैं जो लोगों के सामने एक्सेप्टेबल हो, जबकि रीजन कुछ और ही है। मतलब उस एक्शन का रीजन कुछ और ही है, पर हम ऐसा उसको लॉजिक देते हैं कि सामने वाले समझे कि हाँ ये तो सही बोल रहे हैं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, एक स्टूडेंट बार बार एग्जाम में फेल हो रहे हैं और वो बोलते हैं कि एग्जाम अनफेयर था, बहुत टफ क्वेश्चन आया था, जबकि वो एक्सेप्ट ही नहीं करता है कि उसका प्रिपरेशन में लैकिंग है। देयरफॉर रैशनलाइजेशन ऑप्शन 1 के साथ मैच होता है। देखिए, असाइनिंग लॉजिकल और सोशली डिजायरेबल मोटिव्स टू व्हाट वी डू सो दैट वी सीम टू हैव एक्टेड रैशनली, कि हम बहुत रैशनली उसको एक्ट करके एक्सप्लेन करते हैं चीज़ों को। उसके बाद है रिएक्शन फॉर्मेशन। रिएक्शन फॉर्मेशन क्या है? जब हम एक व्यक्ति को पसंद नहीं करते हैं फिर भी हम दिखाते हैं कि हाँ हम आपको बहुत ज़्यादा पसंद करते हैं, मतलब ऑपोजिट शो करते हैं, मन में कुछ है तो और सामने दिखाते हैं कुछ और। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, एक पर्सन जो एक सामने वाला व्यक्ति को बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं करते हैं, पर सामने जब जाते हैं बहुत फ्रेंडली वो बिहेव करते हैं। इस चीज को रिएक्शन फॉर्मेशन बोला जाता है। ये मैच होता है ऑप्शन 4 के साथ। काउंसलिंग ए मोटिव फ्रॉम ourselves by giving strong expression to the opposite motive। ठीक है, जो ऑपोजिट एक्सप्रेशन है उसी को शो अप करते हैं। उसके बाद है प्रोजेक्शन, सॉरी ये यहां से आएगा। ठीक है, और प्रोजेक्शन के साथ कौन सा मैच होगा? ये ऑप्शन 3। ठीक है, यहाँ पे क्या होता है प्रोजेक्शन के साथ, हाँ सही है। प्रोजेक्शन में क्या होता है, जब एक अनवांटेड थॉट हम मन में रखते हैं, जो फॉल्ट, गिल्ट फीलिंग, ऐसा नेगेटिव फीलिंग, वीकनेस हमारे मन में रखते हैं, उस चीज को वो मेरा खुद का नेगेटिविटी है ऐसा नहीं मानते हैं। उस चीज को हम कैसे मानते हैं कि बाकी लोग भी ऐसा ही सोच रखते हैं, तो ये सही है, कोई गलत नहीं है। इस चीज को प्रोजेक्शन माना जाता है कि जब एक स्टूडेंट चीट करते हैं एग्जाम में, तब वो ये सोचते हैं कि बाकी लोग भी चीट कर रहे हैं, तो ये कोई इशू नहीं है, ये कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, ऐसे खुद को हम डिफेंस करते हैं। इस चीज को प्रोजेक्शन बोला जाता है। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे आपका करेक्ट ऑप्शन हो जाता है ऑप्शन 4। ये एक मैचिंग टाइप का क्वेश्चन है। फर्स्ट ऑप्शन इज कॉग्निशन। कॉग्निशन मतलब प्रोसेस ऑफ नोइंग। अब किस प्रकार से चीजों को जानते हैं, समझते हैं और रिकॉग्नाइज कर पाते हैं, इंफॉर्मेशन को डिस्कवर कर पाते हैं, इसको कॉग्निशन बोला जाता है। इसके द्वारा हम न्यू फैक्ट और आइडियाज और एक्सपीरियंस के बारे में जान पाते हैं, समझ पाते हैं, जानकारी मिलती है। तो इसीलिए ये ऑप्शन आपका ए ऑप्शन 4 के साथ मैच होगा, यानी कि रिकॉग्नाइजिंग एंड डिस्कवरिंग। देन रिलेशन। रिलेशन का मतलब क्या होता है? कनेक्शन और एसोसिएशन बिटवीन टू और मोर ऑब्जेक्ट्स और आइडियाज और कंसेप्ट्स और यू कैन से इंफॉर्मेशन। कि जब हम दो अलग चीज़ों के बारे में लिंक कर पाते हैं, कनेक्शन अंडरस्टैंड कर पाते हैं, समझ पाते हैं क्या एसोसिएशन है, दो अलग अलग चीज़ों के बीच क्या संबंध है, उसको समझ पाते हैं, तब हम उस चीज़ को रिलेशन बोलते हैं। जैसे कि यहाँ पे एक कनेक्शन बिटवीन कंसेप्ट्स, ऑप्शन बी विल बी कनेक्टेड विथ ऑप्शन 3। देन सिस्टम। सिस्टम क्या होता है? जब हम रिलेशनशिप को एक स्ट्रक्चर मैनर से उसको देखते हैं, एक फॉर्म देते हैं, रिलेशनशिप को ऐसे अरेंज करते हैं, ऐसे क्लासिफाई करते हैं ताकि उससे एक मीनिंगफुल पैटर्न बन पाए। फॉर एग्जाम्पल क्लासिफाइंग एनिमल्स इनटू मैमल्स, बर्ड्स, रेप्टाइल्स एटसेट्रा। तो यहाँ पे आपका सिस्टम यानी कि ऑप्शन सी will be matched with option 2 and ordering or classification of relations. And then transformation का मतलब जब आप existing knowledge और information को ऐसे चेंज करते हैं, मॉडिफाई और रीस्ट्रक्चर करते हैं कि उससे एक नया फॉर्मेशन हमको देखने को मिलता है। जैसे कि कन्वर्टिंग ए पैराग्राफ इनटू ए फ्लो चार्ट और डायग्राम। मतलब जो एग्जिस्टिंग नॉलेज है उसको आप ऐसे रीस्ट्रक्चर कर रहे हैं कि उससे एक नया चीज हमको देखने को मिलता है। ये आपका ऑप्शन 1 के साथ मैच हो रहा है, ऑल्टरिंग और रीस्ट्रक्चरिंग इंटेलेक्चुअल कंटेंट्स। तो आपका यहाँ पे सही आंसर हो जाता है ऑप्शन 3, कॉग्निशन के साथ रिकॉग्नाइजिंग एंड डिस्कवरिंग। रिलेशन के साथ जाएगा ए कनेक्शन बिटवीन कंसेप्ट्स, सिस्टम्स एंड ऑर्डरिंग और क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ रिलेशंस। ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन यानी कि ऑल्टरिंग और रिस्ट्रक्चरिंग इंटेलेक्चुअल कंटेंट्स। क्वेश्चन नंबर 132, ऑप्शन ए रिक्रूटमेंट एंड डिप्लॉयमेंट ऑफ टीचर्स। ये आपका ऑप्शन 3 के साथ मैच होता है, ट्रांसफर्स विल ऑकर इन वेरी स्पेशल सर्कमस्टेंसेस। ऐसा क्यों? एनईपी 2020 रिकमेंड किए है कि टीचर का ट्रांसफर फ्रीक्वेंटली नहीं होगा क्योंकि इससे टीचिंग लर्निंग प्रोसेस अफेक्टेड होता है। तो ट्रांसफर कब होगा? जब एक्सेप्शनल सिचुएशन आएगा तब ही ट्रांसफर होगा, अदरवाइज नहीं होगा। तो की आइडिया क्या है? स्टेबल टीचर्स इज इक्वल टू बेटर लर्निंग। नेक्स्ट ऑप्शन है सर्विस एनवायरनमेंट एंड कल्चर। सर्विस एनवायरनमेंट एंड कल्चर मैच होता है ऑप्शन नंबर 4, स्कूल कॉम्प्लेक्सेस कुड ऑल्सो एक्ट एज करिकुलम, एकेडमिक एंड रिसोर्स सेंटर्स। एनईपी 2020 स्कूल कल्चर को कैसे सपोर्टिव और कोलैबोरेटिव बनाया जा सकता है, इस पे रिकमेंडेशन दिए हैं कि हर स्कूल को साथ मिलके काम करना है विद इन ए स्कूल कॉम्प्लेक्स, ताकि हर स्कूल अपना अपना रिसोर्सेस, फैसिलिटीज, एक्सपर्टाइज एंड एकेडमिक सपोर्ट को आपस में शेयर कर सके। की आइडिया क्या है इस कंसेप्ट का? कि स्कूल्स हेल्प ईच अदर एंड ग्रो टुगेदर। नेक्स्ट ऑप्शन नंबर सी, यहाँ पे क्या बोला गया है? कंटिन्यूअस प्रोफेशनल डेवलपमेंट। ये किसके साथ मैच होता है? ऑप्शन ए, ऑप्शन 1, प्लेटफॉर्म विल बी डेवलप्ड सो दैट टीचर्स में शेयर आइडियाज एंड बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस। एनईपी 2020 टीचर्स के लिए एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म क्रिएट करने के लिए रिकमेंड किए हैं कि जहाँ पे टीचर्स अपना खुद का आइडियाज, एक्सपीरियंसेस एंड बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस, बेस्ट टीचिंग प्रैक्टिसेस शेयर कर सके। इसका की आइडिया क्या है? टीचर्स आर लाइफ लॉन्ग लर्नर्स। ओके, नेक्स्ट है ऑप्शन डी, करियर मैनेजमेंट एंड प्रोग्रेशन। ये आपका ऑप्शन 2 के साथ मैच होता है, नो स्कूल स्टेज विल बी कंसिडर्ड मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट देन एनी अदर। एनईपी 2020 और एक चीज रिकमेंड किए है कि स्कूल एजुकेशन के अंदर किसी भी एक पर्टिकुलर स्टेज ऐसा नहीं है कि उसको ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंस दिया जाए। हर स्टेज विल बी इक्वली ट्रीटेड। हर स्टेज में टीचर्स को करियर ग्रोथ और अपॉर्चुनिटी का स्कोप प्रोवाइड करना चाहिए। तो की आइडिया क्या है इस कंसेप्ट का कि एवरी स्कूल स्टेज इज इक्वली इम्पोर्टेंट। तो यहाँ पे आपका सही आंसर हो जाता है ऑप्शन 4। मूविंग ऑन टू द क्वेश्चन नंबर 133। ये CIPP मॉडल से एक क्वेश्चन आया है, मैचिंग क्वेश्चन। स्टैपल बीम का दिया हुआ एक मॉडल, CIPP मॉडल। चलिए इसको एक्सप्लेन करते हैं। कंटेक्स्ट क्या है? सी फॉर कंटेक्स्ट। कंटेक्स्ट किसके साथ मैच होता है? सीधा ऑप्शन 4, यानी कि टू स्टडी द एनवायरनमेंट ऑफ करिकुलम इम्प्लीमेंटेशन। करिकुलम इम्प्लीमेंट करने से पहले जब हम किसके लिए कर रहे हैं, उसका नीड क्या है, एनवायरनमेंट क्या है, सिचुएशन क्या है, प्रॉब्लम्स क्या था, इन सारी चीज़ों को जब हम अच्छे से इवैल्यूएट करते हैं, उसको कंटेक्स्ट के अंदर उसको मॉडल में रखा गया है ना। तो इससे क्या होता है, लर्नर्स का और सोसाइटी का एक्चुअल नीड क्या है वो एनालाइज किया जाता है। सिंपली बिफोर स्टार्टिंग एक करिकुलम स्टार्ट करने से पहले समझ लेना कि क्या ज़रूरतें हैं, क्या एनवायरनमेंट है, ठीक है। ये होता है कंटेक्स्ट। उसके बाद आते हैं इनपुट पे। इनपुट मैच होता है ऑप्शन 3 के साथ। टू प्रोवाइड इंफॉर्मेशन फॉर determining how to utilize resources to meet curriculum goals। इनपुट में क्या होता है कि करिकुलम इम्प्लीमेंटेशन के लिए, मतलब करिकुलम का जो ऑब्जेक्टिव्स हमने रखे हैं उसको अचीव करने के लिए हमको क्या क्या रिसोर्स का ज़रूरत है, क्या क्या मटेरियल चाहिए, टीचर्स कैसे चाहिए, मनी, टाइम, स्ट्रैटेजीज, एवरीथिंग, क्या क्या हमको चाहिए उस ऑब्जेक्टिव तक पहुंचने के लिए, इसको इनपुट बोला जाता है। सिंपली ये चेक करता है कि क्या क्या रिसोर्स ज़रूरत है, रिसोर्सेस का नेसेसिटी है, और उसको कैसे हम इस्तेमाल करें, है ना। उसके बाद प्रोसेस ये आपका ऑप्शन 2 के साथ मैच होगा। टू एड्रेस curriculum implementation decision that control and manage the plan of curriculum। हमने तो करिकुलम इम्प्लीमेंटेशन के लिए जितने भी चीज़ों का ज़रूरत है वो सिलेक्ट कर लिए हैं, चूज़ कर लिए हैं, क्या क्या लर्नर का प्रॉब्लम है उसको भी देख लिए हैं। अब हमको इम्प्लीमेंटेशन का टाइम आ गया है, हम करिकुलम इम्प्लीमेंट भी कर रहे हैं। इस स्थिति में क्या मेरा करिकुलम जो ऑब्जेक्टिव सामने रखते हुए हम इम्प्लीमेंट करेंगे ऐसा सोचे थे, क्या वो उस अकॉर्डिंग ये चल रहा है, इम्प्लीमेंटेशन प्रॉपरली हो रहा है या नहीं, उस चीज़ को जब हम चेक करते हैं उसको प्रोसेस बोला जाता है। यानी कि मॉनिटर करना, करिकुलम इम्प्लीमेंटेशन को मॉनिटर करना, और कुछ इश्यूज अगर अराइज होता है इस टाइम पे तब उसको समझना, कंट्रोल करना, मैनेज करना और उसको रेक्टिफाई करना, ये होता है प्रोसेस का काम। यानी कि सिंपली मॉनिटर द करिकुलम व्हाइल इट इज बीइंग इम्प्लीमेंटेड। उसके बाद है प्रोडक्ट यानी कि ये ऑप्शन 1 के साथ मैच होगा। टू डिटरमाइन द करिकुलम इज अकॉम्प्लिश द इंटेंडेड गोल। यानी कि जो ऑब्जेक्टिव्स के साथ हम करिकुलम डेवलप किए थे, आफ्टर इम्प्लीमेंटेशन हमारा वो ऑब्जेक्टिव अचीव हुआ है या नहीं, इसको देखा जाता है प्रोडक्ट में। तो ये है CIPP मॉडल का कंसेप्ट जो स्टैपल बीम ने दिया था। तो ये आपका यहाँ पे करेक्ट आंसर हो जाता है ऑप्शन 4। अब नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है 134। यहाँ पे आपको करिकुलम डेवलपमेंट मॉडल को ईयर के साथ मैच करना है। फर्स्ट, टेलर मॉडल्स। 1991 में राल्फ टायलर ने एक करिकुलम इवैल्यूएशन मॉडल डेवलप किए थे, जहाँ पे बोला गया है कि जो ऑब्जेक्टिव्स के साथ एक करिकुलम डेवलप्ड और इम्प्लीमेंटेशन हुआ है, क्या सही में वो करिकुलम अपना ऑब्जेक्टिव्स अचीव कर पाया है या नहीं। ये है टायलर मॉडल। नेक्स्ट है स्टेट्स मॉडल। स्टेट्स यानी कि CIPP मॉडल को ही स्टेट्स मॉडल भी कहा जाता है, जिसको 1949 में डैनियल एल स्टाफलबीम ने डेवलप किए थे। यहाँ पे हम लोग अभी अभी देखे हैं कैसे कंटेक्स्ट, इनपुट, प्रोसेस एंड आउटपुट के माध्यम से एक करिकुलम को इवैल्यूएट किया जाता है। देन स्क्रीबन मॉडल। स्क्रीबन मॉडल 1967 में माइकल स्क्रीबन ने एक गोल फ्री इवैल्यूएशन मॉडल डेवलप किए हैं। अभी ये देखो, अभी तक हम लोग गोल को पहले सिलेक्ट करना है, ऑब्जेक्टिव्स सिलेक्ट करके उसके बाद ही हम लोग करिकुलम इम्प्लीमेंट करेंगे, इवैल्यूएट करेंगे, उस बेसिस पे ऐसे हम लोग देख रहे थे। अभी स्क्रीबन मॉडल एक अलग ही है जहाँ पे गोल फ्री करिकुलम इवैल्यूएशन की बात किया गया है। कैसे ना, ऑब्जेक्टिव्स को साइड में रखते हुए एट ड्यूरिंग करिकुलम इम्प्लीमेंटेशन रियलिटी में क्या हो रहा है उस चीज पे ज्यादा फोकस देने के लिए स्क्रीबन ने अपने मॉडल पे फोकस किए हैं। ठीक है, उसके बाद किकपैट्रिक का मॉडल 1959 में डोनाल्ड किकपैट्रिक एक 4 लेवल इवैल्यूएशन करिकुलम मॉडल डेवलप किए थे, जहाँ पे रिएक्शन, लर्निंग, बिहेवियर एंड रिजल्ट्स, ये 4 लेवल्स के माध्यम से आप करिकुलम को इवैल्यूएट कर सकते हैं। राइट, तो यहाँ पे आपका इस क्वेश्चन का करेक्ट आंसर होता है ऑप्शन 4। नाउ क्वेश्चन नंबर 135। यहाँ पे रिसर्च डिजाइन लिस्ट 1 में दिया गया है और लिस्ट 2 में डिस्क्रिप्शन है, आपको मैच करना है। प्री एक्सपेरिमेंटल, ट्रू, क्वासी एक्सपेरिमेंटल और फैक्टोरियल डिजाइन दिया गया है और इसका डिस्क्रिप्शन। पहले हम मैच कर देते हैं, उसके बाद हम एक्सप्लेन करेंगे। जैसे कि प्री एक्सपेरिमेंटल डिजाइन, ये मैच होता है ऑप्शन 2 के साथ, जैसे कि लैक ऑफ रैंडमाइजेशन एंड कंट्रोल ग्रुप। प्री एक्सपेरिमेंटल डिजाइन में क्या होता है, पार्टिसिपेंट्स को रैंडमली असाइन नहीं किया जाता है और कोई कंट्रोल ग्रुप नहीं रहता है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, एक टीचर एक नया मेथड, टीचिंग मेथड को एक क्लास में अप्लाई कर रहे हैं, तो उसका रिजल्ट को किसी दूसरे क्लास में जाके अप्लाई करके देख के उसको चेक नहीं करते हैं। ये होता है प्री एक्सपेरिमेंटल डिजाइन। ठीक है, नेक्स्ट है ट्रू एक्सपेरिमेंटल डिजाइन। ये आपका मैच होगा ऑप्शन 1 के साथ, यानी कि इन्वॉल्व्स मैनिपुलेशन ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल विथ रैंडम असाइनमेंट। ट्रू एक्सपेरिमेंटल डिजाइन मोस्ट साइंटिफिक कहा जाता है। यहाँ पे रिसर्चर क्या करते हैं, इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल को चेंज करते हैं और पार्टिसिपेंट्स को रैंडमली असाइन भी करते हैं, यानी कि यहाँ पे रैंडम असाइनमेंट रहता है, कंट्रोल भी होता है और एक्सपेरिमेंट भी होता है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, स्टूडेंट्स को जब हम दोनों ग्रुप में डिवाइड कर देते हैं रैंडमली और दोनों ग्रुप को अलग अलग मेथड यूज करते हुए हम पढ़ाते हैं, ये है ट्रू एक्सपेरिमेंटल डिजाइन का एग्जाम्पल। क्लियर, मतलब यहाँ पे मेन चीज ये है कि रैंडम असाइनमेंट होता है, प्री में नहीं होता है, ट्रू में होता है। नेक्स्ट आते हैं क्वाजी एक्सपेरिमेंटल। ये आपका ऑप्शन 4 के साथ मैच होगा, लैक ऑफ रैंडमाइजेशन बट इंक्लूड सम कंट्रोल। प्री एक्सपेरिमेंटल में हम क्या देखे हैं कि रैंडमाइजेशन नहीं होता है और क्वाजी में भी रैंडमाइजेशन नहीं होता है, पर डिफरेंस क्या है, प्री में कंट्रोल भी नहीं होता है और यहाँ पे कंट्रोल होता है, सम सॉर्ट ऑफ सम मेजर कंट्रोल किया जाता है क्वाजी एक्सपेरिमेंटल में। सो दिस इज द बेसिक डिफरेंस बिटवीन प्री एंड क्वाजी एक्सपेरिमेंटल। पर ट्रू एक्सपेरिमेंटल में रैंडमाइजेशन होता है, पार्टिसिपेंट्स रैंडमाइजेशन होता है, कंट्रोल किया जाता है, एक्सपेरिमेंट होता है, इसीलिए ये मोस्ट साइंटिफिक माना जाता है। राइट, अब आते हैं फैक्टोरियल डिजाइन पे। फैक्टोरियल डिजाइन किसके साथ ऐड होता है, ऑप्शन 3 के साथ जाता है, एग्जामिन्स द इंटरैक्शन इफेक्ट ऑफ मल्टीपल इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल्स। अब देखिए, यहाँ पे 2 और दो से अधिक इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल्स आपस में कैसे एक दूसरे को इफेक्ट करता है, इस चीज को जब हम एग्जामिन करते हैं तब फैक्टोरियल डिजाइन यूज करते हैं। सिंपली स्टडी मल्टीपल फैक्टर्स टुगेदर, है ना। जब फॉर एग्जांपल जब हम देखते हैं कि एक टीचिंग मेथड हम अप्लाई कर रहे हैं और उसके साथ साथ टीचिंग मेथड का मेथड को ही इवेल्युएट नहीं कर रहे, उसके साथ साथ ये भी देख रहे हैं कि हर अलग अलग जेंडर के ऊपर उस टीचिंग मेथड का क्या असर हो रहा है, तब इसको साइमल्टेनियसली जब हम दोनों अचीवमेंट को चेक करते हैं इसको फैक्टोरियल डिजाइन बोला जाता है। तो यहाँ पे आपका करेक्ट आंसर होता है ऑप्शन 2। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, क्वेश्चन नंबर 136। यहाँ पे क्रैथोल का अफेक्टिव डोमेन लेवल दिया हुआ है और लिस्ट 2 में उसका डिस्क्रिप्शन दिया गया है। क्रैथोल ने लर्निंग ऑब्जेक्टिव्स के लिए 5 स्टेप्स ऑर्गेनाइज किए थे, उनमें से 4 स्टेप्स के बारे में यहाँ पे आपको पूछा गया है। फर्स्ट है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन। ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ये हायर लेवल पे आता है जहाँ पे स्टूडेंट्स क्या करते हैं, अडॉप्ट करते हैं एक कांस्टेंट वैल्यू सिस्टम को। यानी कि ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में क्या होता है, एक इंसान जब डिसीजन लेते हैं तब उनके अंदर जो ऑनेस्टी, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, रिस्पेक्ट, ये सारे वैल्यूज है उसको बैलेंस कर पाते हैं। इस स्टेज में आके जब कोई इंसान किसी भी डिसीजन लेते हैं तब उसके अंदर ये सारे जो वैल्यूज सिस्टम है, ऑनेस्टी, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, रिस्पेक्ट, इसको बैलेंस कर पाते हैं। यानी कि वैल्यूज को ऐसे अरेंज करते हैं ताकि एक स्टेबल सिस्टम बन सके। उसके बाद रिस्पॉन्डिंग। रिस्पॉन्डिंग ऑप्शन 4 के साथ जाता है पार्टिसिपेटिंग एक्टिवली। यहाँ पे क्या होता है, लर्नर जो है वो बस अटेंशन पे ही फोकस नहीं देते हैं, उसके साथ साथ वो एक्टिवली पार्टिसिपेट भी करते हैं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल जब स्टूडेंट क्वेश्चन का आंसर देते हैं इसका मतलब वो एक क्लासरूम डिस्कशन में पार्ट भी ले रहे हैं, है ना। नेक्स्ट है रिसीविंग। रिसीविंग ये आपका फर्स्ट ऑप्शन के साथ मैच होगा, विलिंगनेस टू पे अटेंशन। हम क्या रिसीव करना चाहते हैं, जो हमको सही लगता है उसी चीज पे हम फोकस करते हैं। ये एकदम इनिशियल स्टेज है क्रैथोल का जो अफेक्टिव डोमेन है उसमें सबसे पहले ये रिसीविंग वाला स्टेप आता है जहाँ पे लर्नर अवेयर हो जाते हैं कि हाँ क्लास शुरू होने वाला है, हमको ध्यान देना है, टीचर जो लेसन डिस्कस करेंगे उसको अब ध्यान से सुनना है, नोटिस करना है ना। तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल यही है कि स्टूडेंट जब केयरफुली टीचर को क्लास में सुनना स्टार्ट करते हैं, ठीक है, इसको रिसीविंग बोला जाता है। उसके बाद है वैल्यूइंग। वैल्यूइंग यानी कि ये आपका ऑप्शन 3 के साथ मैच हो रहा है, अडॉप्टिंग ए कांस्टेंट वैल्यू सिस्टम। अडॉप्टिंग ए कांस्टेंट वैल्यू सिस्टम जहाँ पे क्या होता है कि इसका मतलब ही है एक्सेप्टिंग ए वैल्यू। जब आप ऑनेस्टी इस वैल्यू को एक्सेप्ट करेंगे तब आप कभी मतलब ट्रूथ के साथ ही आप जाएंगे, गलत को फॉल्स स्टेटमेंट कभी भी आप नहीं देंगे। तो जब ऑनेस्टी को आप अपना लेते हैं, अपने वैल्यू सिस्टम के अंदर उसको ले लेते हैं, तब आप हमेशा ट्राई करते हैं कि आप ट्रूथ ही बोलेंगे, है ना। तो इसी प्रकार से आपको ये 4 जो स्टेप्स यहाँ पे मेंशन्ड है उसको लिंक करना था, मैच करना था इस क्वेश्चन में। तो आपका सही आंसर यहाँ पे ऑप्शन 3 हो जाता है। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज क्वेश्चन नंबर 137। यहाँ पे मूक प्लेटफॉर्म दिया गया है लिस्ट 1 में, लिस्ट 2 में इसका फाउंडर का नाम है, आपको मैच करना है। फर्स्ट है उडासिटी। उडासिटी डेवलप किए थे सेबेस्टियन ट्रोन ने। यहाँ पे मेनली फोकस किया गया है प्रोग्रामिंग, डेटा साइंस, टेक्नोलॉजी एंड एआई रिलेटेड कोर्सेस। देन कोर्सेरा। कोर्सेरा यहाँ पे दोनों मिलके डफने कोलर एंड एंड्रयू एनजी दोनों मिलके इसको बनाए थे। यहाँ पे क्या होता है, वर्ल्ड वाइड जितने भी टॉप यूनिवर्सिटीज इंस्टीट्यूशंस है, ये सब क्या करते हैं, यहाँ पे कोर्स प्रोवाइड करते हैं कोर्सेरा में, ठीक है। देन यूडेमी, यूडेमी एरिन बाली, गगन बियानी एंड ओक्टाई कगलर, इन सारे लोगों ने मिलके यूडेमी फाउंड किए थे। और यहाँ पे क्या होता है, आप भी कोर्स क्रिएट कर सकते हैं और यहाँ पे सेल कर सकते हैं, यही है इसका स्पेशलिटी। और इसका एक्सपर्टाइज बहुत वैरायटी है, कहीं किसी भी टॉपिक पे आप कोर्स क्रिएट कर सकते हैं और आप यहाँ पे सेल कर सकते हैं, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट है एडेक्स। एडेक्स किसने बनाए हैं, हार्वर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी एंड MIT मिलके इसको क्रिएट किया है, जहाँ पे हाई क्वालिटी कोर्सेस प्रोवाइड किया जाता है अराउंड वर्ल्ड में जितने भी लीडिंग यूनिवर्सिटीज है उसके द्वारा, ठीक है। तो आपको ये एक फैक्चुअल क्वेश्चन है, आपको पता होगा तभी आप आंसर दे पाएंगे, नहीं तो ये गलत होने का चांसेस बहुत ज़्यादा है। फिर भी ऐसे ही मूक प्लेटफॉर्म जो बहुत फेमस है, उसका फाउंडर का नाम अब से एक लिस्ट बना के रख सकते हैं आप। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज 138। यहाँ पे कुछ मैनेजमेंट का फंक्शंस लिस्ट 1 में दिया गया है और लिस्ट 2 में इसका डिस्क्रिप्शन है। फर्स्ट वन इज प्लानिंग। प्लानिंग मतलब टू ब्रीच द गैप बिटवीन वेयर वी आर एंड वेयर वी वांट टू बी, यानी कि हमको मतलब पहले से इन एडवांस ठीक करना है, डिसाइड करना है व्हाट टू डू, हमको क्या करना है, हाउ टू डू इट एंड व्हेन टू डू इट। तो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में प्लानिंग का मतलब यही है कि हम कहाँ पे है और कहाँ तक जा सकते हैं, जाना चाहते हैं, ठीक है, ये होता है प्लानिंग। देन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन। ऑर्गेनाइजेशन यानी कि टू प्रोवाइड इट विथ एवरीथिंग यूजफुल। इसका मतलब है कि जो जो रिसोर्सेस का ज़रूरत है टू फुलफिल टू अचीव द गोल और ऑब्जेक्टिव्स, तो वो सारे रिसोर्सेस, मटेरियल्स, इक्विपमेंट, पीपल, मनी, सारे चीज़ों को अरेंज करना, वो होता है ऑर्गेनाइजिंग। देन स्टाफिंग। स्टाफिंग यानी कि मीनिंग द ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल स्ट्रक्चर। स्टाफिंग यानी कि जब हम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के अंदर लोगों को रिक्रूट करते हैं, सिलेक्ट करते हैं, ट्रेनिंग देते हैं कि राइट पीपल को राइट जॉब में प्लेसमेंट देते हैं, ये होता है स्टाफिंग। फिर है डायरेक्टिंग। एक्टिवेट्स द ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल मेथड्स टू वर्क एफिशिएंटली फॉर अचीविंग ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल पर्पस। जब प्रिंसिपल टीचर्स को मोटिवेट्स करते हैं, गाइड्स करते हैं, क्यों ना स्टूडेंट का परफॉर्मेंस इम्प्रूव हो सके, इस चीज को डायरेक्टिंग बोला जाता है। जब ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के अंदर जो लोग हैं उनको प्रॉपर गाइडेंस दिया जाता है, मोटिवेट किया जाता है, सुपरवाइज किया जाता है उनके काम को, वर्क को, और लोगों को लीड किया जाता है टू अचीव द गोल्स ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, इसको डायरेक्टिंग बोला जाता है। तो यहाँ पे आपका करेक्ट आंसर है ऑप्शन 2। नाउ क्वेश्चन नंबर 139। यहाँ पे ब्लैक एंड मोटॉन्स का मैनेजरियल ग्रिड मॉडल के ऊपर क्वेश्चन आया है। इस मॉडल के दौरान ये बताया जाता है कि मैनेजर्स जो है वो हमेशा पीपल और एम्प्लॉयज़ और प्रोडक्शन और वर्क और आउटपुट पे कंसर्न रहते हैं। अब इसका स्कोर रेंज करता है 1 to 9, 1 to 9 के ओर, ठीक है। इधर पीपल, कंसर्न फॉर पीपल, और इधर 1 to 9 के ओर जाता है कंसर्न फॉर प्रोडक्शन और आउटपुट, ठीक है। तो फॉर्मेट रहता है पीपल और प्रोडक्शन के साथ। अब फर्स्ट चेक करते हैं इम्प्रोवाइज्ड जो मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम है। यहाँ पे इसको 1 1 से डिनोट किया जाता है, यानी कि मैनेजर हमेशा क्या करते हैं, दोनों पे कम कंसर्न रहते हैं, यानी कि ना तो पीपल पे कंसर्न रहते हैं ना तो रिजल्ट पे। फॉर एग्जाम्पल टीचर कभी भी प्रिंसिपल कभी भी टीचर्स को मॉनिटर नहीं करते हैं और ना तो स्कूल एक्टिविटीज को अच्छे से देखते हैं। तो मतलब दोनों कंसर्न, दोनों के ओर ही कंसर्न बहुत कम है, ना तो पीपल पे कंसर्न है ना तो प्रोडक्शन के साथ। उसके बाद अथॉरिटी कंप्लायंस 9(1), यहाँ पे क्या होता है, मैनेजर प्रोडक्शन यानी कि आउटपुट और रिजल्ट पे ज़्यादा फोकस करते हैं ना तो पीपल पे। इससे क्या होता है, पीपल जितना भी स्ट्रेस में रहे, मतलब एम्प्लॉय जितना भी स्ट्रेस में रहे उसको मैनेजर नहीं देखते हैं, उनको बस अपना टारगेट से मतलब है। उसके बाद है मिडिल ऑफ द रोड। मिडिल ऑफ द रोड में क्या होता है, मैनेजर पीपल और प्रोडक्शन के बीच बैलेंस करने का प्रयास करते हैं। ठीक है, यहाँ पे फॉर एग्जांपल स्कूल हेड हमेशा ट्राई करते हैं कि अपना टारगेट जो है स्कूल का वो अचीव हो रहा है कि नहीं उसको भी चेक करते हैं, और साथ ही साथ टीचर्स को भी वो सेटिस्फाई करते हैं। टीचर्स का स्ट्रेस भी वो उस रिलेटेड भी कंसर्न हो जाते हैं। देन टीम और अर्न मैनेजमेंट 9(9) से डिनोट किया जाता है। इसमें क्या होता है, मैनेजर मैक्सिमम इम्पोर्टेंस दोनों को ही देते हैं, पीपल एंड प्रोडक्शन दोनों को ही। ठीक है, इससे क्या होता है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल प्रिंसिपल, दूर बाबा, दूर दूर এই চাদরের তলা
তো গায়ে পড়বে, ঠিক আছে।
এই তো দেখলাম বাথরুমে ঢুকলো, আবার বেরিয়ে এসে এখানে
জানলা লাগা।
হয়ে এসেছিল, এটা মানে ভালো লাগে না আর।
ওখানে কেটে দিবি, চালা না, এখন চলছে, এখন চালা, ওখানে কেটে দাও, কিছু করিস না। চালিয়ে চালিয়ে
टीम और अर्न मैनेजमेंट, जहाँ पे मैनेजर बोथ पीपल और प्रोडक्शन दोनों में मैक्सिमम इम्पोर्टेंस देते हैं। जैसे कि प्रिंसिपल मोटिवेट्स करते हैं टीचर्स को, टीम को सपोर्ट करते हैं और उसके साथ साथ एक्सेलेंट रिजल्ट को भी अचीव कर पाते हैं। ठीक है, और कंट्री क्लब में क्या होता है, यहाँ पे पीपल के लिए कंसर्न ज़्यादा रहते हैं ना तो प्रोडक्शन के लिए। तो इसलिए यहाँ पे मैनेजर एम्प्लॉय को ज़्यादा सेटिस्फाइड रखना चाहते हैं, ना तो वो टारगेट अचीव हुआ है कि नहीं उस पर फोकस करते हैं। तो इसी प्रकार से आपको इसको याद रखना है। ये अगर हो जाए, याद रहेगा, तब आपको ये आसानी से आप कर लेंगे। इम्प्रोवाइज्ड मैनेजमेंट, इम्प्रोवाइज्ड 1(1) के साथ मैच होता है, इम्प्रोवाइज्ड यानी कि दिस वन। नेक्स्ट है अथॉरिटी कंप्लायंस, अथॉरिटी कंप्लायंस 9(1) है ना, 9(1) यानी कि दिस वन। अथॉरिटी कंप्लायंस में क्या होता है, पीपल के लिए लो कंसर्न और प्रोडक्शन के लिए हाई कंसर्न। उसके बाद मिडिल ऑफ द पाथ, मिडिल ऑफ द पाथ 5(5) होता है मिडिल ऑफ द पाथ, जहाँ पे मीडियम कंसर्न दोनों के लिए ही होते हैं। और फिर टीम मैनेजमेंट 9(9), यहाँ पे दोनों बोथ मतलब पीपल और प्रोडक्शन दोनों के लिए ही मैनेजर हाईली कंसर्न रहते हैं। ठीक है, नाउ क्वेश्चन नंबर 140, नेशनल ट्रस्ट एक्ट ये कब इनेक्ट हुआ था, 1999 में, फॉर द welfare and protection of persons with autism, cerebral palsy, mental retardation, multiple disabilities, right? Next, PWD Act 1995 में इसको लागू किया गया था टू इंश्योर इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटीज, सबके लिए बराबर अपॉर्चुनिटी, किसके लिए, पर्सन्स विद डिसेबिलिटी, ठीक है, फुल पार्टिसिपेशन एंड प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ देयर राइट्स। नेक्स्ट है आरसीआई एक्ट। आरसीआई एक्ट कब आया था? 1992 में, ठीक है। तो ये भी क्यों आया था? टू रेगुलेट ट्रेनिंग एंड प्रोफेशनल प्रैक्टिस इन द फील्ड ऑफ रिहैबिलिटेशन एंड स्पेशल एजुकेशन। स्पेशल एजुकेशन में और इन द फील्ड ऑफ रिहैब में ट्रेनिंग और प्रोफेशनल प्रैक्टिस सही से रेगुलेट हो रहा है कि नहीं, इसको देखने के लिए आरसीआई एक्ट लागू किया गया था। देन आरटीई एक्ट 2009 में इसको इनैक्ट किया गया था। इसके अंदर 6 से 14 ईयर्स के बीच सारे बच्चों को फ्री एंड कंपलसरी एजुकेशन प्रोवाइड करने के लिए बोला गया था। तो आपका यहाँ पे करेक्ट आंसर हो जाता है ऑप्शन 2।